I got your stuff too. Well, nice to meet you too.
Grab a coffee, guys. Take your seats. Take your seats. Grab a coffee. Take your seats. And you guys can turn your chairs this way. If you can turn your chairs this way, we're going to get rocking and rolling. Thank you. All right, take your seat, guys. Just turn your chairs this way. We're going to be presenting for a while. Just wait for Diane, then we'll get started. It's where the name tag is, Gerard, your name. Let's go look for your name. All right. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we are here today, finally. Welcome to the Boomers Leadership Conference 2025, the first ever conference where we got franchisees across 3 different states here in the same room. History has been made. Let's give a big clap for that. Today is going to be absolutely freaking awesome. I've been 6 months planning this day, and I'm not kidding you. About 5 hours every single week refining the materials that we're learning. And it's so good to see so many new faces talking, chatting, communicating to each other. I must say the energy in this room from the get-go has been really good. And I'm very excited to get into today. Before I get into today, guys, there's a couple of people I wanted to thank. A day like this has so much preparation needed. Booking the venue, getting the workbooks, getting the presentation, dealing with all my short fuseness sometimes. a lot of work goes into today, and Kimberly was the event coordinator and made everything happen. So can we give Kimberly a clap, please, for today? I also want to take this opportunity to thank you for being here today. Because in a busy world that we live in, trying to get someone to stop everything for one day, family, kids, I got this on, I got that on, to be here for that one day, I can't tell you how much I appreciate your time. It's one of my things that I value the most is time. You've given me 6 to 7, 8 hours of your time. I promise you I'm going to return on that time. By the time you walk out of that door, you're going to get a lot of value from today. A couple of tips to walk in, a new mindset to take into your business and to run better businesses. So I promise you when you walk out that door today, you're going to get a ton of value to take to your business. I also want to give a special thank you to our out-of-state franchisees from Queensland and from Victoria, especially those that have got kids and family, to take out a day to travel all the way down to Sydney to make this happen. You guys are legends. I appreciate your time. And for those that are here in Sydney thinking, yeah, every year it's going to be in Sydney because Emile lives in Sydney and it's so good. Next year it's in the Gold Coast. Yeah. So you can start going on Flight Centre and, hey, hello, hey, Noel. You can start going on Flight Centre and booking in your flights now. So don't get too comfortable, our fellow Sydney franchisees. So team, where did the idea of an annual conference come from? Like, where did that idea come from? It actually came last year in December at a Christmas party that we held. So we were still, New South Wales franchisee based, and we did a Christmas party at the Coogee Pavilion. And we were growing. Some new franchisees were coming on board, and there was a couple of us there at Coogee Pavilion. And I remember one of our franchisees was actually Michael. He comes in, he greets, he says hello to everybody. Hey guys, how you doing? And then he comes up to me and he says, Emile, who's that? I said, that's Loris and Justin. They've been in the network for 6 months. The WhatsApp chat, it's like, I've never seen him in my life. And then I stopped and paused. I'm like, okay, I knew then and then we got to do a conference once a year where we all come together in the same room. We connect with each other. We form friendships. We learn from each other. Because you know what the good thing about this room is? There's some franchisees here that are over 300 enrollments, and there are some that are on 0 that are starting next year in term 1. Imagine what you can learn. Some of the advice, some of the tips that you can learn from somebody that's doing 300 enrollments, some of the life lessons that's gotten them from 0 to 300. That's valuable. So the purpose of today is to work on us, because we're always working on the kids. We're working with the parents. We want to deliver a good experience for the kids. Rarely do we take that opportunity to work on us. So the whole purpose of today is for us to step out of the business, out of the emails, out of the parents asking for makeup classes, trial classes. Hey, did you book me in? Hey, this. We're stepping out of that today to work on ourselves, to upskill ourselves so that when we go back into our businesses, we run better, more profitable businesses. That's the whole purpose of our conference today. I'm super excited to get into it. So, what's the game plan for today? How can you get the most out of today? How can you squeeze the lemon to get every bit of drip of lemon out of it? I kindly ask that you remove distractions. That includes emails, phone numbers, SMS, messages, because you can be here physically, but not be here mentally, right? And I want you guys to be here mentally to absorb everything that you can. That includes booking confirmation emails coming through, parents requesting trial classes. Please remove all the distractions. I want you guys to get the most out of today. Guys, take the time to connect with the fellow franchisee. How often do we have all the franchisees in the same room? Never. Other than Zoom? Never. That rhymed. Never. This is the first time. Take the time to connect with fellow franchisees. Don't be on your phone texting and calling. Speak to people, right? Because what you can learn from somebody that's ahead of you is valuable. So take the time to connect with fellow franchisees. What the plan is for today, team, is we're going to get into session 1. After session 1, which is going to be mindset, we're going to go into a morning tea. After the morning tea is going to be session 2, which is going to be more implementation. Then after session 2, we're going to have a networking lunch, fully catered for. After that, we got our guest speaker coming down in a Q&A. By the way, I'd like to take this time to introduce our guest speaker to everybody. I will be introducing him later, but Manda, if you can stand up. Can we give a clap to Manda for coming down? Manda's been walking around the room speaking to you guys. He has got a wealth of knowledge in the game of business. I won't talk about it too much because he's going to come out to the front later on to talk about it. But Manda, we're very special and privileged to have you here.
Wanted to be here, thank you.
So we're going to do our guest speaker and our Q&A. We're then going to finish off, we're going to do some roundtable discussions. And then in the afternoon, we've got awards night. We've got 6 awards that we are giving to some franchisees that have hit major milestones in their business. And then after awards night, we got dinner at 6 p.m. right downstairs at the bistro. Would love everyone to be a part of dinner. Nice way to end what's going to be a very successful day. Does that sound good to everybody? Yeah. All right. Just a couple of housekeeping rules. Bathrooms are over there. Coffee, we do have coffee here. Downstairs is also a bistro if you're fancy and you want nice coffee. Not that coffee's bad, but anyways. And toilets are there. Yeah, that's about everything. Underground parking. Team, any other questions before I get into my next slide? We good to rock and roll, yeah? Plenty of energy, good stuff. All right. I'm very big on measuring success, right? I obsess about success. How can today be a success for you? I've put it down to 4 things that today can be a success for you. Number 1, if you can implement one new thing into your business, today's a success. Now, I go to a lot of personal development sessions. I go to a lot of seminars. I read a lot of books. Before, I used to read everything and say, I've got to apply all this to my business. I would go to my business, I'd apply everything, and nothing worked because I just applied too many things at the same time. I now change my belief where if I read a book, if I go to a seminar, I'm just looking for one thing to get out of it. One golden nugget that I can take and implement to my business. So don't get distracted with all the things that you're going to learn here. Just implement the one thing that's going to move the needle in your business. Only the one thing. Today will be a success if you learn one new thing from a franchisee that's ahead of you. Like I said before, in this room, we got franchisees that are on 0, 50, 150, 200, 300, 450, juggernauts, all right? Imagine what you can learn from somebody that's ahead of the game, because the reality is we're all experiencing the same challenges. Lack of court space. It's hard to find coaches. I've got 10 dud coaches. I get 10, for 10 dud coaches, I'll find one good coach, right? We all experience the same problems. It's about learning about how other people are overcoming some of those challenges. And that's what we're going to learn here today. Connect with the franchisee that you didn't know before the event. Don't just cling to your best buddy from Gold Coast or from Queensland or from New South Wales. We've got everybody in this room across 3 different states. Take the opportunity to connect to a franchisee that you've never spoken to before. Form a relationship so that after, when you guys go back to your businesses, you can call each other. Hey, I've got this problem. How'd you deal with this? Hey, I've got this idea. What do you think about this? Take the time to connect with the fellow franchisee that you haven't met. And the last one, this is hard. It might happen. And if it does, it'll be awesome. Maybe we can alter a limiting belief you had about your business before you walked into this room. Because the thing with limiting beliefs is they're very concrete, they're very strong. If I can get you to challenge that belief, even become aware of it, maybe put a crack in the dent of that belief, you walk out and say, you know what, maybe there is another way to do this. If I can get you to do that, then today will be the ultimate success for you. So these are the 4 things, guys, to make today a success. Now, one of the questions I've been thinking about is, what's a good icebreaker activity that we can do, right? We've got all these franchisees in this room. I can tell some people are coming into this room. Hey, who's that? Who's that? Who's that? We got a lot of new faces. We've got people here that have joined the network 2 months ago. So what activity are we going to play today? Well, guess what? I've got a $50 Hoyts voucher that we're giving away. And the game that we're going to be playing today, ladies and gentlemen, is my all-time favourite. And no, it's not the Senior Citizens Club, but we are playing this game. Human Bingo. On your desk is a bingo card with an interesting fact or characteristic specific to each franchisee. What you need to do is match 4 in a row. It could be sideways, it could be down, or it could be diagonal. And you've got to write the person's name underneath that matches that unique characteristic. Whoever does 4 in a row and screams out bingo wins the Hoyts $50 voucher. Does that make sense, team? All right, everybody stand up. We're starting in 10, 9. Grab your Human Bingo card. Hey, by the way, guys, I'll give you a news flash. You might have to move from your table because not everyone's there. But anyways, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, bingo! Game's on. Yeah, go around, move the table. You got the cards. Guys, we do have to validate the answers, and it turns out for some of these bingo, there's more than one person. So it has 10 years of experience as a nurse. We had Edison and Diane. But it turns out Noel is now 10 years plus. Can speak English, Hindi and Bangli. Who do we have for that? Joe. Die-hard Canberra Raiders fan. Completed a Ironman triathlon.
Emile and Charles.
I haven't yet, but Charles has. Was the first franchisee to join the network? Michael. It was Michael, but this was confused because Yanni did come shortly right after. Has 20 years business experience working as executive at Optus. Sarab. By the way, he resigned from his job on Friday. Kudos to you, Sarab. We just clapped him. Sarab, that was so random. That was good. Has children who did the Boomers program before becoming a franchisee? Not Greg, Loris and Justin.
That's incorrect.
How so?
That's my boy. That was my boy that did the Boomers first.
You did it when you became a franchisee.
No, he was at Mike's class.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Let's get the fact check. Somebody get a Facebook post out. We got to see what's coming.
But you gotta reassess to the winner.
Went to the same school as Emile, St. Mary's College. Yeah. Has recently given birth. Kirsten. Has recently become a multi-unit owner. Lito. Lito and Luby. Works at the Crown Casino, head of security. Miguel. Now this one tripped out a lot of people. Works in superannuation. May, do you work in super as well? God, I didn't even know that. Yeah. Recently launched their franchise in South Gold Coast. Has 5 months to plan their wedding. Look at that. Coach Emile. April. No, it isn't. So we could put Kimberly. I'll get in trouble after. Originally studied architecture, but transitioned to teaching to follow their passion. Made a big move in their career. Yeah, that was Miriam. Kudos to you, Miriam. Previously owned a sole origin franchise before joining Little Boomers. Yanni. Bingo. Yeah, Loris got it. Well done, Loris. Give yourself a big clap, guys. All right. Hey, by the way, I got to say, Paul did hack the game. Within 10 seconds, he said, I got 4 in a row. I looked at it and he got it, but I had 15 minutes on the agenda for this. So I said, sorry, Paul, we're going to get the whole card done. Okay, team. Now that we know about each other, let's continue on. Okay, so team, before we get into the content and start talking about everything, let's talk about the vision. Where are we heading as a company in the next 10 years? Right? I like to think a lot. I like to plan. I like to look in the future. I just went to Back to the Future musical. As a company, where are we heading for the next 10 years? Before we talk about the vision, let's take the opportunity to talk about where we've come the last 6 years. Because there's people in this room that have joined the boat 2 months ago, and there's some people in this room that joined the boat almost 5 years ago. So let's see as a company where we have gone or started from and where we've come to. This is where it all started, team. For those that know me, I used to work at PCYC. This is where I fell in love with coaching. This is where I learnt my experience. I was very fortunate to learn under somebody else's umbrella. And I pretty much loved what I did and said, you know what? I'm going to try my own thing on the side. Let's see if I can make something possible. So this was pre-boomers. That's me resigning from my last day at PCYC to pursue my dreams of owning a business. As any business owner does, what do? Got to get a logo ready. Got to get a logo done. This was the first draft of our logo. Now, when the guy gave it to me, I noticed 2 things. I said, man, that purple hair's got to go. That's a bit too funky for my liking. And the other thing was, I said to the guy, he looks too serious. He looks like he's going to get his competitor by the throat, put him over here. I'm like, let's dim him down a bit, make him look a little bit friendly. So we got the logo ready. What's the next logical step you do when you get a logo? Got to get the website up. Got to accept enrollments. This is what our website looked like back in the day. It's obviously come a long way. We went on to Wix. Got it up and going. I don't know what the red bar was there for. It's so off-brand, but you learn and you move on. First class, May 1st, 2018. You can count the number of kids in this class. So for those franchisees that are starting their business and they're on 6 or 8 enrollments and then they see the network scorecard, Emile doesn't know what it's like to be on 8 enrollments. Well, I actually do. This was it in May 1st, 2018. Where it all started. And in case you're wondering where am I looking at, I'm pretty much looking at where's all the other kids? Where is everyone? Those were humble beginnings. I'll never forget Tommy, right? I got the website up. I got everything up. I went on the website 100 times just to make sure it's working. And I had my email open and I was like an addict. I was refreshing every single time, waiting for that first booking to come through. Hours went by, I'd go back on the website. Is the website working? Hold on. Yeah, it is working. Refresh. Finally, I'll never forget, after 6 hours, order confirmation, Little Boomers basketball. I thought, is this a spam? I clicked on it and it was Tommy. It wasn't even a paid enrollment. It was for a trial class. But I remember that feeling and it just injected a whole bunch of belief into me that, okay, this works. Somebody has trusted me. Somebody's actually booked in. And the amount of belief that I got from that one booking, I'll never forget. That's all I needed. I just needed one. I just needed one person to say, I trust these guys. Let's do a trial with it. I'll never forget one of the most euphoric moments in my life. And Tommy's in China now. He's not even in Australia, but that was Tommy. Times were tough and lean. I didn't have a mascot, but I still had to get out to the community. So that's me in the Spider-Man outfit, I had to, costs were lean. We didn't have a mascot, but hey, you need to do what you need to do to get the word out. Things were growing in 2019. It was still company owned, but we were growing. We were bringing on more coaches and the business was starting to expand. That's an old throwback photo. Yeah. About 50% of them, 50% of them are gone. Look, that is a throwback. Yeah. About 4 people are in that photo. Still, yeah. And then right when I announced that we were franchising, we got our franchise agreement, boom, COVID-19 hits, pandemic. When I look back at it in hindsight, I think it was very great timing because I can't imagine if a franchisee invested a certain amount and then COVID hit, That would have really hurt them. So when COVID hit, I said, you know what? Let's go online. I sent programs for daycares. I did Zooming and Booming every Saturday. And if there's one thing that COVID-19 taught me, right? There was 2 people in COVID, in business owners, right? One person was tuning in at 11 a.m. to see Gladys's update, to see what the update if restrictions were relieved, and were at the beck and call of what Gladys was going to do. That's what a certain classification of business owners did. The other people said, you know what, when Gladys makes up her mind with what she wants to do, what else can I do in my business? Where can I get better at? Where can I expand? And I thought that, you know what, COVID-19 is a great opportunity. Kids are home, they're indoors. Let's go online and get the brand out. I took that approach. And I think COVID-19 was a black swan that nobody expected. But the reality is, as franchise owners, you are going to experience a crisis in your business, whether it's a venue kicking you out, a venue saying to you, you can no longer have Sunday anymore, so you're losing 80 members. Your star coach, a week before the term starts, says, look, thanks, man, it's been a great ride, but I'm pursuing my career elsewhere, right? You're always going to experience some form of a crisis. It's not a matter about when, if, it's about when you are. And when you do experience those crises, there's 2 ways. There's 2 ways that you can approach it, right? You can either go, oh man, why's this happened to me? Far out, da, da. Or you can say, okay, it's happened, it's done. What's my next move? 1, 2, 3. So just remember that you always experience a crisis within your business. Then we'll announce we're franchising. Restrictions left. We booked out one of the rooms here. We held a seminar, right? Announcing that we're franchising. That was an OG photo. Mikey's there. He's still around there. And Gerard's goatee there's unfortunately, thank God for the whole room here, that goatee is no longer there. He's brushing it now.
It's going up now.
Maybe I should bring it back. 2022 happened. We brought on our first 3 franchisees. Things were growing. Things were moving. 2022, we held our first ever All-Star Day event. Now, the idea from All-Star Day actually came from somebody. They said to me, Emile, you should have a day where each franchisee selects their 8 best players, the best of the best. They all come together for one day and they compete against each other like a March Madness for those that watch college. The best of the best come together. I said, you know what, that's a great idea. So we held our first All-Star Day. We've done 3 here in New South Wales. I think the last one we did in July was the best one by far. And next year, Queensland's are going to have their first All-Star Day. And the goal is to have an annual All-Star Day event running in every single state. Victoria, Queensland, all the states, to highlight and recognise the best of the best players. Then Boomers finally, that was always a New South Wales, Sydney program, became a Queensland. We went out of state with our first franchise. And kudos to Greg, because to be the first franchisee in a new state and to be the first franchisee out of New South Wales is a massive risk, right? Think about some of the doubts that you might have in your mind. Is this going to work? It's been great in New South Wales, but I don't know about Queensland. Greg took that risk, bit the bullet, and he's been one of the best successful franchisees out in Queensland. So kudos to you, Greg, our first one. Just give him a clap. That was good. And then 2024 happened. Now, I categorise 2024 as the disconnect year. And the reason why I call it the disconnect year is we were growing as a network, bringing a lot of franchisees on board. But what was happening was the support wasn't matching the amount of growth that we're having with franchisees. Even though I was still available to take calls, I soon realised that franchisees weren't comfortable calling me anymore. And I'd say, why didn't you ask me about this? Emile, you're busy. You know, you're growing the business. You're busy. I didn't want to bother you. I started to hear that a lot. I said, that's interesting. And then what I noticed was, even though we were growing as a network and we were still a network, each franchisee was kind of operating in their own lane and in their own path, doing their own thing, chipping away their own way. Yes, it was a network, but everyone was just kind of going in their own lane. There wasn't a formalised way of doing things. Some franchisees were doing things differently across the board, and it wasn't uniform. I then said to myself, okay, things need to change, and they need to change quickly. So we went to work. And what did we do? We started to build our HQ team. That was the first point of call that we had to do. Build the HQ team. We brought on Greg, our operations manager, a successful franchisee that proved the model works in a new state. Somebody that's there for you, that understands the problems that you're facing. Not an outsider that comes in and doesn't understand some of the setbacks you have, somebody that's been there in the trenches with you, is still operating a franchise, someone that you can lean onto, phone call him. Greg, I've got this problem. Can you give me a hand? We wanted someone that franchisees feel comfortable going to from those day-to-day grinds and the day-to-day problems you experience. And Greg's done an amazing job in that role. We then introduced our Triple M group, which is called Monday Morning Momentum. Every single Monday, each franchisee posts a win they experienced and a challenge they experienced from the week before. And by the way, I've been doing this every single Monday and I have never missed one. That's why those that know that I got engaged a couple of weeks ago saw it on the Triple M. And the whole purpose of the Triple M group team is we all experience similar challenges as franchise owners. Sometimes just voicing your challenge out to a group helps you process it better. And sometimes people are commenting, hey, you know, this is what I think you should do. It's a collaboration, it's a network, it's a community. People are learning from each other. Hey, I experienced this problem too. This is what I did. And it's been going great. And there's some people in this room that have never missed any of those Mondays. I post mine up at what time? About 6:30 in the morning on a Monday. I never miss a Triple M. But there are some people in this room team that are still yet to join Triple M. I believe in the power of now. So if you haven't joined Triple M, please scan the QR code. Paulie, Phil, you're not in it. Gerard, you're in it. Edison, you're in it, but I haven't sent a post since 1996. Loris and Justin, you're in it. Carla, you're in it. Kirsten, you're in it. Guys, if you're not in our Triple M group, this is where we get the latest updates of everything and the collaboration between each other. And don't just do a fake scan. You know, yeah, okay, put away a fake scan. But I've done that before, a fake scan. Hit an invite. Jared's laughing. Yeah, I did fake scan. So join our Monday Morning Momentum group, guys, our Triple M group. Every Monday, we start the week off with a lot of energy. We then started to implement 2 live workshops a month, one hosted by Greg, one hosted by myself. I'd put up a poll. What do you want the workshop to be focused on? What are the pain points in your business? Some of the workshops we have done is retaining customers, how to find good coaches, how to increase your enrollments, how to master local area marketing. We record it and we post it on YouTube. And franchisees have been finding these workshops very valuable in improving their businesses. We then brought on the lovely Kimberly as a part of head office to assist Greg in some of the day-to-day operations, assist you as a franchisee as well, and to help with our compliance. So we built up Kimberly into the head office team. We started to do field visits and mystery shopper program because we now realise the number one asset in our network is not the coaches. It's not the program. It's not the drills. It's not our awesome, slick website. It's the brand. That's the reason why people choose Little Boomers Basketball and not Aussie Hoops or any other of our competitors. The brand is our number one asset. And one of the best things about having a strong brand is everybody in this room leverages from that brand. And we all contribute to that brand being on a high status. If 1 or 2 aren't performing to that level of brand, the whole thing goes down. So if everybody's keeping up that brand elevated to the highest of standard, everyone in this room benefits from that. It's the number one asset, past anything else. We started to develop the Franchise Resource Centre, playbooks on how to operate every part of your business, from marketing to coaches to recruitment. We've literally got a playbook for every component of the business so that you don't have to figure out anything for yourself. And this is an evolving centre. We're constantly adding new playbooks into it. This is an interesting statistic that not many of you probably know. Everyone sees, far out, they're recruiting so many franchises. Oh, they're doing so well. Let me tell you how many we've actually declined. We've declined 12 potential franchisees across 2024 to 2025 because we felt like they had the money, they were ready to go. They didn't align with our brand values. We didn't feel like they were going to be a cultural fit, and we just didn't feel like they were going to be right for our network, so we turned them down. Believe me, some of them got really angry, phone calls, texts and stuff, like dynamite angry. But that's an interesting stat that most people don't see because we're playing the long-term game here at Little Boomers. We're not playing a short-term game where we're going to recruit as many franchisees and sell to some big investor, right? Unless anyone's got a bid offer here. No. We're playing the long-term game here. But overall, team, what we did from 2024 to where we are now is we raised the bar. We raised the bar as a network. And yes, this was difficult for some franchisees who were used to a previous way of doing business. with all these implementations that were coming in, it was difficult. But we now realise that if we raise the bar, everybody benefits as a network from having a high brand standard. But essentially, team, what we did when we're looking back at things is we're transitioning from what I call a backyard business to a proper company. And when I say backyard business, I'm not kidding you, it was a backyard business. That was me taking a phone call in the backyard. So it's not metaphor, it's actually quite literal. We then moved into Victoria, our second state, led by Joachim and his wife Naomi, who's done an absolute awesome job as our first Victorian franchisee. Kudos to you, Joe, and to Naomi. And we welcomed a whole bunch of franchisees to the dream team. Sarabi, Angel, Gerard, Charles and May, Melissa and Leo, Tino, Carla and Eddie, Joe and Naomi, Lito, Libby, Loris and Justin. Guys, if you're here, can you stand up, please? If your name is there, stand up. Can we give a round of applause to our dream team, our new franchisees? Now, part of the initiation ritual here, Little Boomers, is I need you to take your shirt off, come to the front. I'm only joking. Thanks, that's all right, you know. Sarabi's taking his shirt off already. Also, team, in the last 2 years, we've started to look at AI. Whether you hate it or not, AI is not going away. It is staying. Now, you can either be anti-AI, it's taking away people's jobs, it's doing bad, or you can be like, okay, how can I implement this technology into my business? How can I be more productive? How can I get rid of the repetitive tasks so that I can focus on other parts of my business, like connecting with my community, finding schools, connecting with my families? How can I do the human touch of the business and reduce the repetitive, mundane stuff of the business? Here's some of the ways we've started to implement AI. Frexia, Inbox Manager. We encourage all of our franchisees to install Frexia. It's an AI software that responds to your emails, allows you to respond to emails within 10 seconds. We've got a parent help desk bot that's available on the website 24/7 that's been programmed about everything about our business. So if a parent is stuck, I've got a 5-year-old, can someone help me? Because, you know, speed to lead matters in 2025. People want instant answers, and there's an AI bot there that helps them. Right, and this thing, like parents are using it. Like they're going to that bot more than they're going to the phone because they want instant, quick answers. And some of the other exciting technology that we've been dabbling into and we're getting a pilot ready is an AI receptionist, somebody that takes calls out of hours, right? Because the reality is if a parent's on the website 7 p.m. and they're stuck and they call the head office number to help them, but we don't open at 7 p.m., and that customer the next days are hard to get a hold of. Imagine if there was someone there at 7 p.m. for them to call. Hey, I'm stuck on the website. Okay, all you got to do, my postcode's 2192. Can you find a class nearby? Yes, Mrs. Jones. So we're working on something like that to really focus on that speed to lead. Because at the end of the day, if you're getting back to your customers quicker and your competitors are taking a day, who's going to trump? The person that's getting back to the customer quicker. Speed to lead matters. And I'm excited to introduce our AI receptionist soon. We're kind of fine-tuning it. Her name's Mia. I can't wait for you to meet Mia. So team, I just went into the past. We dabbled into the past. Where are we heading at in the future? 2035, what's it looking like for Little Boomers basketball? I actually went to the musical Back to the Future, where he went back all the way into the future. Great movie. So I'm going to take you back to the future, 2035. It's a very simple mission, guys. I'm not going to give you some elaborate pie chart graph. It's a very simple 3-step plan. Part 1 of our 3-step plan is we are going to dominate the grassroots space for basketball in Australia and eventually international. Yes, that's not a typo. Key words here, grassroots space. Little Boomers basketball will always be the leaders, the experts at the grassroots space. We're not interested in high school kids. We're not interested in the ones that want to go to college. We're not interested in the junior basketball competition and the rep players. We will always be the specialists and the experts at the grassroots level, and we will dominate that grassroots level. The kid that wants to come in, get better, score a basket, make a friend, or the parent that says, yeah, my child's shy, he doesn't really talk much, can you help build up his confidence through team sports? That's always who's going to be our customer. We're not interested in the one that wants to go to college or Div 1 or make it, or representative. That's a whole different target market. We will continue to stay in our lane and dominate the grassroots space. Now, how are we going to do that? Quite simple. I've got a 3-step plan within that 3-step plan. We're going to offer world-class programs delivered by world-class coaches, overseen by world-class franchisees. That's all we're going to do. Talk about the old KISS method. That is our simple plan of how Little Boomers basketball is going to continue to dominate the grassroots space in Australia and eventually international. World-class programs, world-class coaches, world-class franchisees overseeing the operation. Number 2 of our 3-step plan. A streamlined franchise model built on strong support, scalable systems and smart automation, making business ownership simple. We want to make owning a franchise real simple. So simple that you can get your 5-year-old to sit on the chair and start operating the business. That's how simple we want to make business ownership. We want to make scaling your business easy. We want to implement automation so that your business can run without you. How are we going to do that? We're going to continue to build our HQ support team because your success as a franchisee is dependent on our support. If we're there to help you, support you, and to overcome some of those challenges, you know, sometimes you just need a coach on the sideline to give you a little bit of advice to overcome that hurdle. And then you get another hurdle, overcome that hurdle. So we're going to continue to build our HQ support team. We're going to continue to leverage AI because AI is going to add automation to your business. That's going to allow you to back off so that you can focus on the human touch. Because all AI is going to do, it just makes human touch more valuable. That's all it is. Human touch right now is more valuable than ever because it's slowly dissipating. If you can focus on human touch and reduce the repetitive strain work, you know, the admin, the email replies, a lot of that mundane one, focus more on the human touch, you'll excel. We're going to continue to leverage AI. We are going to crush local area marketing. There's more on this later during the presentation. We're going to harness the power of word of mouth through MVP. You know, I was fascinated the other day. The other day I went through all the reports about how parents hear about us. I would have thought parents heard about us on Facebook, Instagram, Google, because we're on those channels a lot. You know what the #1 channel was? And it wasn't even a close second. Any guesses? Word of mouth, right? Word of mouth was the #1 channel for how people heard about us. And it makes sense, right? Look, what do parents do in their little circles? Who's Jimmy do basketball with? Oh, Little Boomers basketball. Yeah, I might sign up. It's so much easier to convert someone that's been referred. They don't want a trial. They got a referral, somebody referred. How do I pay? How do I book? Right? It's the new person that knows nothing about the company that can have a trial. Referrals are so powerful in our industry, especially with parents. And we need to harness that referral, which is why we introduced the MVP program. For those that don't know, it's a very simple initiative. Each parent is like a mini marketer. When they sign up, they get a unique URL. They send that URL to as many parents as they want. If anyone signs up with that URL, the parents gets $20 credit on their second order, and that parent that signs up gets $10 on their second order. How good's that? Right? And then we gamified it with a leadership thing where we're giving away a trip to Movie World. And you know what the great thing about that is? They've got to sign up back to your program to use a credit. So it's like a double win. Because if they don't sign up back to the program, they lose the credit. So it also retains the customer. So that's our MVP program, strategies that we're doing to harness word of mouth. We're going to continue to build and refine our systems, especially in the IT department. And I've got some very exciting data that I want to share with you. A lot of people know that we've been pilot testing an RMS system, rollover membership system. Think like your Netflix. Netflix come out, they take your money, and then they go for next month. And you don't even know that the money was taken out. As we're moving into a world with technology, people want convenience. They don't want to think, right? Less is more. They want someone to take their money. I don't want to worry about it. That's where we're heading. Think about Amazon. One click, checkout, item to your house the next day. So we wanted to implement that system into our program through a rollover membership system. So parents can just come in, they book once, they get automatically debited every single term. They don't have to think about it. If they want to cancel, they can cancel anytime. And we're one of the first kind of companies to move into that direction. Parents don't want to go back in the website. How many times do you guys as franchise operators, yeah, I'll get to it, I'm just cooking dinner, I'll get to it now, I've been a bit busy. You hang up, a day goes by, they didn't get in, a week goes by, the class is now sold, they contact you, hey, any chance that you can get me back into that class? Happens every single time. So we want to roll out our RMS system and look at these data. On the left column is the franchisee, that's pilot testing it right now. This column over here is their enrolment on the manual system week 1 after registration's opening. This is week 1. This is not the end of term. This is week 1 after registration's opening. This is a manual system. This one here is the same time period, week 1 of registration's opening, but this is on the RMS. Look at that data for a second. Philip, 84 to 316, that's a 232% growth. These aren't made up data, guys, you can ask them, they're here. Edison, 28 to 59. Greg, 28 to 78. The total enrollments for the pilot, 140 to 978. Look at that growth percentage on week 1 of registration's opening. This proves to you that parents don't want to think about booking in things. They want it done automatically. And that's where the world's heading. 70% of businesses are now subscription-based model. And our goal for 2026 is we want RMS rolled out across the whole network. That's our goal. We've got 2 new franchisees coming into the pilot test. And our goal is to have this system rolled out across the network, because this is business changing. Like in terms of revenue and profitability, this is almost life changing. You can manage your business a lot better when you know how much upfront enrollment you have in the first week of term planning. So I can't wait, guys. That's our goal. 2026, roll out RMS.
Yes.
Okay. So we looked at the past. We've looked at the future, 10 years, where the company's heading. Let's now zone in to the present time. October 30th. 30th or 31st? 30. Is it Halloween today? Tomorrow. Some spooky things might happen today. So let's zoom into today. The power of now. The theme of today's workshop, team, is transitioning from an operator to an owner as a franchisee. How can you move from an operator to an owner? That is the theme of today's workshop. And there is a very clear distinction from operator to owner. And I want to tell you my story from 2018 to 2020. When I was starting the business, you saw that photo. I had about 12 kids in the class. The next term I had 32. The next term I had 48. The next term I had 64. And things were growing. It was really easy. Everything was in fingertip lengths. When you're under 100 enrollments, everything's good. Life's great. I got back to inquiries within 60 seconds, brought in coaches, had my fingers on the pulse, found new venues. Everything was easy. Under 100 enrollments. I could manage everything. But then what I noticed started to happen was when I crossed over that 100 mark, I went to 100, I went to 116, I went to 148. The first 4 hours of my day was in my inbox. I thought, what the heck? 4 hours in the inbox, getting back to inquiries, getting back to existing parents. Can I have a makeup class? Can I have a trial class? Returning missed phone calls, returning text messages, returning to coaches that are saying they can't come to class tomorrow. My first 4 hours was spent on that. All of a sudden, I wasn't spending time growing on my business and working on my business. I was spending time just being super reactive to what was coming to me. And all of a sudden, as my enrollments continued to grow, my problems started to expand. And I wasn't working on my business anymore, recruiting top coaches, finding new venues, trying to land school coaches. I was just putting out fires. And then eventually I hit a plateau. I started to have control issues in my business, and you won't believe it, right? I was told from a previous business owner, I won't say who it is, I said, how do you manage your coaches? And he said to me, I get my coaches to call me after every single class. I said, every class? I said, what do they call you about? How'd the class go? Is there any fires, anything I need to worry about? I got my fingers in the pulse. So I listened to that. I said, okay, that's good. I'm going to do that to my business. So I told all the coaches, after every class, I want you to call me. Let me know how everything went. I was running 26 classes a week. 26 phone calls a week I got. Classes finished at 7. Sometimes I was on the phone to 7:30 for a whole term because I thought that was normal. The other guy does it. He does well. I'm going to do that as well. And then all of a sudden I was spending hours on the phone, right? Because that's what I thought was normal. I had a bit of control issues when I started to expand my team because I always thought parents would say to me, oh, Emile, you're such a great coach. I don't know if any other coach would come, what you would do. So I thought if I stepped out of coaching, parents were all going to leave. Emile's not here anymore. We're going to someone else. I had that concern. I had that fear. I said, far out, I can't live. I've got to keep my coaches. So I would watch my coaches. Hey, why'd you do that? Why'd you do that? I want you to do it this way. Call me after class. Hey, call them next day. Hey, I didn't get a phone call from you today before I got home. I was tired. I went on a nap. I said, no, you got to call me after every class, right? That was my journey from 2018 to 2020. And I knew then and then that, okay, if this business is going to grow, if I'm going to continue to love it and to enjoy it, like the reason why I got into it at the start, something has to change. And I did change and implement a lot of the things that you're going to learn here in the system. And right now I've built the franchise. You know, those that know I own Canterbury Bankstown. It's a 400 to 450 enrollment area. And I'm not saying this to bloat, but I spend about 1 hour a week on that. I have Miriam that manages it, she'll come up soon. I've got Mary who manages it, and I touch base with Miriam once a week. We do an hour, how you going, any problems, I help you. And I manage it on about 1 hour a week of 400 enrollment territory. I'm saying that to show you that stuff I'm saying here is not just me picking it out from ChatGPT. I implement a lot of these stuff in the business so that when you get to that moment, you can implement those things. But before I get into the tactics, guys, and implementation, I strongly believe that business is 80% psychology, 20% skills and strategy. And the reason why I say that is if your mindset up here is not geared for the right growth, it doesn't matter what strategy I give to you, you're not going to adopt it. Let's say, for example, you've got a mindset, marketing doesn't work, marketing is a waste of money, and it's not an investment. I can give you the best marketing blueprint that's going to blow up your business. It doesn't matter. Your mindset is marketing doesn't work, it's a waste of money. I'm not going to invest in marketing. So the first part of today's workshop, before we get into implementation, is about adopting the right mindset for growth. We got to fix up here before we start doing the strategies. Because if I give you all these strategies at the moment to implement in your business, but your mindset isn't geared for that, it's going to go to waste. So the first 30 minutes is on that mindset shift that you need to make. But let me create a compelling reason of why you need to shift from an operator to owner. If your franchise continues to grow, but it's reliant on you, here's some of the things that you experience. And I do notice some of the franchisees in this room experience these same things. Burnout. You start to get burnout, right? And unfortunately, if you've got a family, that burnout trickles into the family. You start to lose passion into a business that you once came in for because you were passionate about. You start to hit growth plateaus. This is what happened to me from 2018 to 2020. I started to hit a growth plateau in terms of my enrollment and growth of the business. You get decision fatigue. Your brain's fried by 11 a.m. by all the decisions and all the reactiveness that you have to put out. And eventually, team, you become the bottleneck in the growth of your business. You become it. And that's what happened to me. I became the bottleneck of the business with all this stuff having to run through me. Coaches needed to run through me. I became the bottleneck. Now, I want to make a clear distinction because some of you might get this message the wrong way. Today's not about running away from your business and saying, you guys sort it out. That's called management by abdication. And that's worse. You know why? If you have a team that's not empowered, that's not trained, and you say, you guys sort it out, I'm out of here, you're just going to come back and put out a boatload of fires. So that's management by abdication. Today's purpose is about using tools that's going to buy back our time, building a team around you so that you can work on other activities in your business that are higher leverage, i.e. landing a school contract, i.e. landing a new venue, i.e. hiring a 2IC that manages the day-to-day part of your business so that you can focus on growth. So don't think today's about running away from the business. That's actually the opposite thing, and that'll give you more fires to put out. That's all right, Mary. Shamez. So team, here are some common limiting beliefs that you might have right now going through your mind as we're doing this presentation. Have a read of these. I'm going to go through them and let me know if any of these resonate with you. My business can't grow without me. I had that one. People are hard to manage. Nobody will do it like I can. I'm not ready yet. That's a great one. Now, some people in this room, I have a feeling that are under 100 enrollments might be thinking, Emile, I'm under 100 enrollments. What a waste all this content's going to be. Can I ask you a question? Are you planning on staying under 100 enrollments? I don't think you would have spent this amount of money to stay under 100 enrollments. I'm sure you've got plans for growth, right? So if we can get this fixed right now, before you experience that growth and get some of these systems implemented, you're going to be one step ahead of the curve. I can't afford to hire. Another limiting belief. I'm going to talk about bringing on a 2IC in your business that could be absolutely game-changing. And I hear a lot of, Emile, I can't afford a part-time, We're going to break that belief. I'll lose control. I'm not good at managing people. I need to be involved in everything. Just have a read of these and just see, guys, if any of these are resonating with you. Because the first exercise we're going to do, team, if you go down to your workbooks, if you move on to the appropriate page, we're going to write down, I'm going to have you write down 3 beliefs that's stopping you from transitioning from an operator to an owner. And I just don't want you to put something that's blasé. I want you to actually take the time to think about what these beliefs are that's stopping you from working in your business to on your business. 3 beliefs, and if somebody's comfortable at the end, I would love to do a bit of a group discussion when we're done, after about 5-10 minutes, for people to share their answers. So if you go down to your workbook, you'll see there's a section there for 3 limiting beliefs. I told you one of the beliefs I had was control issues. I still face it to this day, and it's about overcoming those beliefs. 5 minutes, write them down, team. 3 limiting beliefs. Arthur, let's get some background music on. Pens down, phones down too, please, guys, on silent. Thank you for your undivided attention. Okay. So I already told you guys some of the battles and some of the limiting beliefs I had from 2018 to 2020 when I was growing my business. I'm still facing some of those at the moment. It's about identifying them, being aware of them so they don't control you. If anybody's comfortable sharing their answers, guys, one limiting belief that they had about transitioning from in their business to on their business. Would anyone like to share their answer? It'll be lovely and nice. Thank you. Can we get the mic, Arthur? I didn't tell you about the mic because you wouldn't have put your hand up. Is it on? Go, Angel.
So I think this one's a major blocker. I feel like it's easier to do the job myself rather than having to explain it to someone, investing in people.
Yeah.
Because I have this mindset that firstly, I've got to invest the time to explain it to them. Then I've got to check their work. Then I've got to ask them to redo it.
100%.
Like 2-3 takes. And then in that time, I might as well just get that done and plus 10 other things done.
Yeah.
And then there's also this sort of a control issue in my head as well.
Yeah.
They do as good a job as I can.
Yeah.
And then also, I think somewhere in my head, I know that I've got to create some systems to automate certain things, like marketing, for example.
Yeah.
That's one of my major things. But I know that would take time, and that stops me. So just investing that time to create those systems, I feel like in that time that I'm investing in creating those systems, I can actually get the work done.
Yeah.
So I guess that's one major limiting belief that I
Yeah.
have at the moment.
And you know what tends to happen? We say, let's let them do that. They go ahead and do it. They make one mistake. I'll give it back to me. I'll do it. You know, you're not doing it right. We don't give them an opportunity to learn, an opportunity to make mistakes like we would. Angel, thanks for sharing. Can we give Angel a clap? That was awesome. Thank you. Yes, let's get the mic to May. Arthur, over here. Nice loud voice, May.
This is from Charles.
From Charles, yeah.
It's the worry of retaining good quality coaches. We've got one good one, and then the others are more like assistant coach.
Yeah.
Charles is very passionate about the business, and he really wants to do it full time.
Yeah.
And for that to happen, I start thinking like an owner is to, I guess, hand over the reins to a 2IC.
Yeah, 2IC, yeah.
Because we've got one, but if we lose that person, he needs to step back in.
Yeah.
So it's just that belief that, we only need to lose one good coach, and then we step back.
Yeah.
And going back again and being the coach.
100%.
Yeah.
And you know what the thing is, May? Sometimes as business owners, we want the coach to be as 100% invested as us. The reality is, nobody is going to be invested into your business because they didn't put 50, 30, 45 grand in the business. You're going to be the one, right? So if you have that expectation, I need someone that's going to match my energy and enthusiasm as a coach, you're kind of going to be disappointed when you find out someone's 90 or 80% there, right? It's about finding, and for me, I had that problem as well. I'd brought on a coach and I wanted him like me, loud, strict, moving, voice. Yeah, I was soon disappointed to find out that he wasn't like me, right? So it's all about kind of just saying, okay, everyone's got their unique style. If I can get 80% of how I would perform as a coach, there's a saying that goes, 80% done is 100% awesome.
Yeah, so I guess his limiting belief is, can we do this full time?
100%.
Yeah.
Thank you. Can we give a clap to May? That was great, May. Thank you, Charles, out there. Charles, watching the video. Thank you for being on us all the way out in Queensland. Guys, one more. If anyone else would like to share, it'd be really good. I'd love to have one from maybe somebody that's been in the network for a couple of years now. Don't be shy, team. Oh, I'm going to start picking. Loris. Thank you, Loris. Let's give Loris the mic. Loris, loud voice.
Yeah, we're just thinking if we don't show up in the court every week, the customer service level will be different. The
Yeah.
quality of the customer service. And if the customer would like to ask something, but nobody, including coach, can give them an answer, I think like they will make
They'll be let down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also the second thing is that about the storage room. We don't have a storage room in our venue, so that we have to deliver the equipment over there every single week. So yeah, that's the major issue for us as well. So we have to be there to set up the equipment to deliver the things.
The storage space dilemma, isn't it a killer? That was nice. Can we give Loris a clap? That was awesome. Thank you, Loris. Guys, I would love one more. If anybody cares to share, one more would be great. These are really good answers, guys. Really good limiting beliefs. Carla from Schofield's.
Hello. I'll share two. I currently still have my full-time job. And today's not a sick, I actually applied for it and leave today.
Good on you.
So that is it, and my job requires me to work all sorts of hours because it's online based. I support online based programs. So Saturday mornings is very difficult because we currently just have Saturdays, and sometimes I finish working about 3, 4 a.m. But it's okay for me to lose the sleep because I'm not a coach. It's Eddie, but the full-time job thing, I'm trying to maneuver out of that as well. And I've given myself, I don't know if it's too long, but 2 years of on-the-job training. So everything I need to know, every back end. Be familiar with the playbook for the coaches as well, and how to navigate through that. Even though I do have Eddie, who's there, but he also has a full-time job. I'm Eddie's boss. on everything. Even on the call, it's like, I go up to his and I'm like, hey, even simple things like take your hands out of your pocket. Yeah.
That's good, yeah, 100%.
So it's not that I have a control issue, it's just that I am concerned that if I start handing things over at such a early stage, so this is only our second term, that if the person that I've handed it over to cannot cope or is unavailable, or then I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
I can't remember how to do things. So I don't know if the 2 years I've given myself on this on-the-job training is too much, but I am really already burnt out and trying to figure out how to.
Yeah. And that goes to Angel's point, saying, I've got to train someone. There's a lot of energy. What if they stuff up? What if they don't do the job right? I'm going to have to come in and step in. And I just wanted to say, there's a lot of people in this room that want to make this franchise a full-time thing and put it into their job. I won't name names, but somebody in this room, I was told in the morning, put in an official resignation to go all in on this Little Boomers basketball franchise. I'm not going to name the name, Sarab. Give him a clap. That's it. He was telling me, I hope you don't mind me sharing, he was telling me how he was nervous because he's got a very good job, high up executive. I mean, you saw the bingo cards, Optus. And he already told up his colleagues verbally that he'll be resigning and he's going all in with the franchise. And that is freaking scary, right? Yeah, as poker chips in, I'm going all in. So it is a big jump, Carla, 100%. Kudos to you, Sarab. Okay, team. Thank you for sharing those answers. I really appreciate it. Again, team, it's all about identifying the limiting beliefs. The hard thing about limiting beliefs is they're not easy to identify, like, hey, there's water here, because they're so normal to us. They're so normal. They become a way of life for us. it's really hard for us to identify them. So what we're going to do, team, in our next exercise, I was reading a book. It was a book about business. And in the book it said, as a business owner, you should take a vacation and do the vacation test. I said, you know what? You don't have to tell me twice to take a vacation. Heck, I'm going to take one. Easy. Sold. When do I take one? But then the book said, hold on. There's a condition to this vacation. And the condition is you take time away from your business, 7, 14, 21 days, whatever you want. But there's one rule. None of your employees or workers can contact you, and you cannot contact any of your employees. You must delete Gmail, delete email, delete WhatsApp. It is almost like you've been abducted by aliens. I said, oh man, I don't know if I want to take that vacation anymore. And I challenged myself to do that. Now, some of us are probably thinking, if I do that, I don't even know if my coaches will rock up to class. Right? So some of us are thinking that. But the whole purpose of this is to empower a team, to have a team running your business, right? Having your systems in place so that things run in the event if you do take off time. And it's called the vacation test. What you're going to do, team, is on the next page, there's a scale from 0 to 10. If your business can run completely without you being there, you put a 10. If you come back to your business and you have to call the local fire brigade to pull out all the fires that are in your business, you put it as a 1. So just give yourself a scale from 1 to 10. How would you go if you were to take the vacation test? How would you do? 7, 14 or 21 days? Pens down. Okay. So team, if I can have your attention, please. Okay, so team, the whole purpose of the vacation test is just to see where you're at in terms, guys at the back, if we could just listen. Was that a quick exercise? Okay. The whole purpose of the vacation test, team, is to see where your business is at in terms of running by yourself. If you tick yourself a 0, or if you tick yourself a 1, that's okay. We've got a sliding scale to work on, right? We've got a system to work on. And again, it's not about running out of your business and say, you know what, I'm going to do that, I'm not going to check anything. Because if you do that, but you don't have the right team empowered because they've been used to you doing everything, you're just going to set yourself up to come back to a whole bunch of fires. Now, team, the next exercise we're going to do is there's a very clear distinction between operator and owner. An operator is constantly reactive to the day-to-day issues that happen in their business. Whilst an owner is proactive. They've got people, they've got systems in place. So what we're going to do next, team, is there's a table on this exercise. One of the columns is area. This is how an operator mindset would be, an owner mindset, and the example. Take, for example, the first one here. An operator forgets uniforms and rushes a last-minute pickup order. An owner ensures uniforms are stocked 2 weeks beforehand. So what you're going to do is go through each line item, go through the example, and Diane's saying, that's me. I want you to go through each one, team, and I want you to tick in that example, would you take an operator mindset or an owner mindset? Go through each one. We're going to spend 2 minutes on this exercise and we're going to continue on. Pens down for me. All right. So team, what we're going to do next is the whole purpose of this first part of the workshop was mindset shift change. Like I said before, business is 80% psychology, 20% strategy. And we want to have the right mindset to take on the right strategy. So the last thing we're going to do, team, before we wrap up our mindset shift change, is if you turn the page, you'll see there's a question. And the question is, what kind of owner do you want to become? In one sentence, describe the owner you want to become this time next year. In 2026, describe in detail what owner do you want to become? Do you want to be constantly reacting, constantly having shortages of coaches, constantly trying to look for venues? So write down in a few words, team, to wrap up our mindset shift, what type of owner do you want to become in 2026? And don't just put broad stuff, specifics, specific details, team. Let's go. 1 minute. We're going to write down what type of owner do you want to become in 2026. We're priming ourselves to adopt the right mindset. We've identified what an operator does in their business and how reactive they are, and we've also talked about an owner. And it's not about management by abdication, just running away and saying, hey, all the best, don't bother me, let me know how you go, right? Because that'll put more fires. It's about building a team to grow your franchise. Doing activities in your business that's going to move the needle, because not all activities are the same. Responding to an email about makeup classes versus landing a contract, same activity, 2 different results, right? It's about us doing the activities that's going to move the needle on your business, but adopting the right mindset. 80% psychology, 20% strategy. What's going to happen now, team, is the next part of our workshop, now that we've geared our mindset and we've adopted the right mindset, our next workshop is going to be pure implementation. I'm going to introduce you to 6 systems that you can implement into your system that's going to help you become an owner and work on your business. As I said before, don't implement all 6 systems. As you're going through each system, listen and say, you know what, I need that right now. That's going to be the best one. System number 1, 2, and 3 could be different for everybody. It's based on where you're at in your business. We've got people in this room that are at all different levels. So I'm going to take you through 6 systems in a second when we come back. Does that sound good to you guys? Yes. Can I get feedback so far? We're enjoying the first couple of hours of the workshop? Yes. All right, great job, guys. 11, guys, morning tea is going to be from 11 to 11:15. We've got a really tight time frame, so just check your phones. Help yourself to some morning tea. We're going to have a break. Come back 11:15, please. I'll see you in a bit. Take a seat. Sarabi, Shamez. Okay, Kim, I think there's some people outside. Maybe just bring them in. Emile's a drill sergeant with time. 11:15. 11:15, he's a drill sergeant, militant style. Okay, team, how was the morning tea? Good? Give him a 5-star review after? All right, there we go. Okay, team, if I can have everyone's attention, please. Workbooks down, just this way at the screen. Okay. So, team, as I mentioned before, we're going to get into implementation in a bit, where I'm going to introduce you to a couple of systems and you can find out which system is best for you. But I want to introduce you to a concept that I've recently adopted in the last couple of years. It's called life by design. And ideally, when you start to implement these systems into your business and you start to become more of an owner, you start to do life by design. And what life by design is you have your day structured around what you need to do that's going to move the needle in your business. You don't become super reactive. You become proactive. It's called life by design. You design your day, you design your life, and you design your week. That's what these systems is going to implement into your business. Now, for me, what my life by design works, I follow the same day every single day. 4:30 a.m. wake up. From 4:30 to 9 a.m. I work on the business activities and initiatives that's going to move the business. The really deep thinking, because I'm most productive from that time from 4:30 to 9. Then after, yes, Carla. 8:30, 9. Yeah. Jeez, everyone sounds shocked. Emile just, it almost sounded like it. Did Emile say that?
Wait till you have
Sometimes I beat my folks to go to bed. So life by design, 4:30 to about 9 is on the business activities because I'm best at that. Nobody bothers me. I don't get phone calls. Then I go to the gym. I work my body. I move my body. I get ready for the second part of my day where I respond to phone calls. I respond to messages, and I do phone calls. I do mostly phone calls. That for me is life by design. Ideally, what you guys want to be able to create is your own life by design. Now, I don't have kids, so you're a different ball game altogether. But you want to create what's called life by design so that you know, okay, at this time, these are the activities that I'm going to work on my business to allow me to grow that business. Rather than I wake up, I got to put this fire out, I got to put this fire out, I've got no coach for this, I got to put it. It's life by design. That's the concept that I want you guys to adapt. And in the workbook, I've got some classic examples, right? If you look at this, reactive versus proactive franchisee. Reactive franchisee example. Your accountant calls you and says your BAS is due tomorrow. You panic and spend 2 days digging through invoices and emails to figure out what your income, what your GST, what your PAYG is, right? That's a franchisee in a reactive state. Same situation. Your accountant calls you, your BAS is due, you send your accountant the zero reports for revenue, expenses and GST, already reconciled, takes you 5 minutes. Same situation, 2 different outcomes. Another example, reactive. A coach cancels 2 hours before class. You spend the afternoon scrambling for a replacement in a panic state. Proactive example, you've got backup plans, either a part-time, aka 2IC steps in, or the original coach finds their own cover before calling you because that's the policy that you have with your coaches. Same situation, different approach. What we want to do is step out of the reactive approach and become a proactive business owner. So, and just to let you know, guys, I use these systems. I'm not saying this to blow. I do Canterbury Bankstown on 1 hour a week, and it's been operating at that for 2 years because I've got Mary, I've got Miriam, I've got a team that manages, and the team, I have a 1 hour catch up with it. So it is possible to get to this state. So here we go. Systems. System number 1 is bookkeeping. My goodness me, I am so surprised that a lot of people don't know revenue, don't know profit that they're making into their company. I should be able to say to you, Miguel, can I have your profit and loss report for the last 7 days compared to this time last year? It should take you 10 seconds to produce that report on Xero. We need to have accurate financial numbers in our business. But what a lot of us do is when registration's open and we see a Stripe payout of $10,000 on our way to the account, oh, hectic, I make $10,000, Stripe account, beautiful, happy days. That's pre-revenue. From that revenue, you have to account for court hire, for the wages of coaches, for any equipment costs, for any local area marketing fees. If you want to pay yourself a wage, you can't just look at the Stripe balance and think that's money in the account, because that's not. We then pay bills and do all this and we figure out, oh, geez, my account's low, right? That's a bookkeeping issue. We need to have really, really strong bookkeeping, financial numbers. You need to know the financial health of your business. And by the way, in the event that you do sell your franchise, somebody that's coming in wants to see books, clean profit and loss books for the last 3 years. So we need to get into the habit of reconciling our books. If you don't want to do it, you can outsource it. But there's 2 pieces of software I recommend. Xero for the reconciliation and HubDoc. HubDoc is free. You can upload all your invoices there and it connects to Xero. And if you get the routine down pat, it takes you 30 minutes on a Monday to get all your books reconciled for the week. That's all it is. Once you get into the mojo of things and you've got invoices on HubDoc, it takes you 30 minutes once a week, and you have clear, accurate financials of your business. You're able to know how much you can invest to local area marketing. And how do you know if your enrollments are growing? How do you know if your business is growing? The only way to look at your business growth is to compare revenue and to compare profits. But system number 1, team, and this is a basic foundation, is you've got to have good financials for your business. You can't make decisions. If you're making decisions without knowing the numbers, you are literally going blindfolded, getting darts and just hoping things pin, right? So you need to have accurate financial numbers. I highly recommend that you use Xero and that you use HubDoc, reconcile, spend once a week, 30 minutes once a week, getting your books clean. That's system number 1. Team, before I get into system number 2, does anyone have any questions about system number 1 that I can help with? Or is it all quite straightforward? Cool? Just hands up, who is using Xero in this room? Cool, about half. Is anyone using QuickBooks? No? Mostly Xero, cool. Okay. System number 2, team, and this goes back to what I was saying about leveraging AI. In 2025, if you're spending more than 10 seconds to respond to an email, you're putting time down the drain, right? The same email that comes into your inbox, hey, do you have a trial class? Hey, can I have a makeup class? Hey, I've got a 5-year-old. Should they do the mini boomers program or the little boomers program? You shouldn't be spending more than 10 seconds responding to those emails. Think about it like this. If you're spending 10 minutes, times that by the amount of emails you send per week, and I guarantee you, a minimum of 5 hours per week, you can buy back your time, right? So I highly recommend, there's an AI software called Frexia. A lot of us use it. I recommend it. It goes into your inbox and it responds to emails for you. It creates an automatic draft. If you like the draft, send it. If you don't like the draft, change it and send it. But that's going to allow you to get through your inbox quicker. Again, it's about focusing. It's about reducing time on those tasks so that you can focus time on other activities. Reprioritization on the human touch. Imagine if you bought back 5 hours of your time per week. What could you do with that 5 hours? You could recruit a gun coach. You could find a new venue on a weekend that's going to produce you 80 to 100 members per week. You can land a school contract. You can land a daycare contract. Frexia allows you to buy back, and there's plenty of AI email inbox softwares. I use Frexia. A lot of my team use Frexia. Greg uses it. We all use Frexia, and it costs a couple $100 a month. A couple $100 a year. A couple of $100 a year to buy back 5 hours per week. In my opinion, that's a good return on investment. So that's Frexia AI. Frexia AI. I think we're all using ChatGPT to respond to emails now. So you might as well leverage the AI technology and to spend less than 10 seconds responding to an email. That's system number 2, team, Frexia AI. Hands up, who is using Frexia AI in this room? Yes?
Is it Pfizer or Frexia?
That's a great question, Yanni. I have no idea. I've just called it Frexia because someone that told me about it said Frexia. Is it Fixer? Fixer? It just doesn't roll off. It just doesn't roll off the tongue. Pfizer vaccine. Pfizer. Get Pfizer in your get Pfizer in your inbox. Team, can I just get a show of hands? Is anyone using? I'm just going to call it Frexia because it's going to take me a while. Anyone using Frexia in the inbox? Kirsten? Yeah. Greg? Is anyone using any other AI piece of software into the inbox? There's Copilot. Yeah, Copilot. That connects with Teams, yeah? Myself, Yanni. Now, team, again, it's not going to be perfect. You look at it. You can add your little bit of a human touch. But what the great thing about this AI technology is they learn from your sent inbox. So everybody's got a unique way of sending emails. It learns how you talk in your sent inbox and applies that machine learning to your future emails so you don't sound like an AI bot. Incredible technology. It's all about buying back your time for the repetitive, mundane tasks. That's system number 2, team. If your inbox, and this is what I needed about 2 years ago, if you're spending a couple of hours, I mean, if your inbox is okay now and you're still growing your business, sure. But if your inbox is starting to flood and starting to grow, some of our franchisees, 200 plus enrollments, and your email inbox is flooding, it might be time to install Frexi, Pfizer, whatever you want to call it. All right. System number 3, team, is a term calendar planner. As you probably know, in our franchise, it's the exact same thing every single term. The same pattern applies. School holiday program, then we get the peak enrollment period, which happens 1 week before school. Term starts, give out the training kits, weeks 1 and 2, settle the kids in. Weeks 5, registrations close, roll over your events, order your certificates. Week 8, finals week. It's the same methodology, the same week by week term. But a lot of us sometimes, because we're so focused on in the business, we become reactive. Oh my God, I've got to get uniforms. I've got to get medals. Oh my God, I've got to get medals. Oh my God, it's finals week. Oh my gosh, my registrations are low. I've got to take a local area marketing campaign out 1 week into the term starting, which parents have already sorted out what they want to do for their programs. What we want to adopt and the approach that we want to take is we want to know each week what we need to focus on in accordance to where we're at with the term. Week 1, we've got to focus on this. School holiday program, school holiday period, we have to take out a local area marketing campaign because we know that's peak enrollment period. We want to get into that habit of knowing exactly what we need to dial in on every single week, rather than guessing or rather than just becoming reactive. And once you get into that motion, you're going to know exactly what you need to do. Miriam knows when she's doing the head coach, as my head coach, you know what she has to do, weeks 1 and 2, attendance list, get to speak to the members, call up all our new members. She knows exactly what she needs to do week by week based on where we're at with the term calendar, right? What was that? Crikeys. Must be Pfizer. So what we want to do, team, is get into our term calendar planner. There's a valuable resource in the Franchise Resource Centre. It's called our term calendar Gantt chart. It shows you exactly what activities you want to focus on in every single term, in every single week of the term. Because guys, if it's weeks 3 and 4 and you're taking out a local area marketing, it's not going to do as well as if you do it on the school holiday program where parents are looking to enroll for the next term. So just understand what week you're at and, okay, this is what I need to dial in on, right? If you want to recruit coaches, if you want to train coaches a term before to get them ready for the term coming up. That's the approach we want to take. You have a big ass calendar and you know exactly, here's my focus for the week. Any questions, team, about our term calendar planning, system number 3? Cool? Okay. System number 4. I'm going to talk about this for a while because I see this is in the network a lot. I'm going to spend a little bit of time on this. So what happens, team, is we've got our roster and everything's great. All of our classes are covered. Happy days. I don't need to hire any coaches. I don't need to go to Indeed. Everything's covered. I don't need new coaches. I'm good, thank you. You really want this position? I'll let you know, thank you. All right? Then 1 week before the term starts, a coach that's doing 4 shifts a week pulls out. I'm sorry, man, I've got this internship placement or I've got this going on. I just can't do it. All of a sudden, our once perfect roster now goes to shambles. Oh, God, I've got to find someone. Can you do it? Why can't you do it? Can you? We get into shambles, right? Because we thought that we're in a good place at the moment. And I've got people giggling and laughing. Miriam's laughing because we had that this term with the couple. She's giggling. We have this all the time, team. We have a great roster now and we think that's what the future's going to be like. What I would love for us to do, and I suggest, is we change our mindset to only, instead of hiring when we need, adopt the mindset of hiring 24/7, 365 days a year. Think of hiring coaches because there's 2 demons in our industry, lack of good quality coaches and no venue space. And they will be there for God knows how long, right? So you want to figure out, okay, how can I get ahead of those 2 massive hurdles in our franchise? Adopt the mindset of hiring 24/7, 365 days a year coaches. You know how you've got a wait list and parents join your wait list and you keep them warm? Do that same approach with coaches. Interview coaches. Not hire coaches. Bring them in for a trial and then keep them on a wait list. And when they're ready to come on board, boom, you have somebody ready to go. No different than a wait list. And that allows you to be in that proactive mindset so you've got a steady flow of good candidates. Because you know what happens? What happens is when we have to hire because we're desperate, a coach from Indeed will come in who's normally a 3 out of 10. He's walking, he's there. All of a sudden now he looks like an 8 out of a 10 because we need someone and we need someone ASAP. Yeah, he wasn't walking, but I saw him kind of run for a little bit, you know. All of a sudden a 3 now is an 8 out of a 10, right? But if we had a whole team of coaches, we'd probably say, look, don't worry about it, it's not for you. But we hire out of desperate. And do you know what happens when we hire out of desperate? It affects your bottom line. It affects your class quality. It affects your session quality. Do you know what that does? It affects your retention rate. You know what that does? It affects your bottom line profit. So whilst you're making a good short-term decision or a perceived good short-term decision, it comes back to bite your business. And all of a sudden, by the way, these people are the same people you have commitment issues with. I can't do this day, I can't do this day, I can't do tomorrow. I can't do 10 a.m. I could do a 27-minute window, you know? That's some of the problems you have when you start to hire desperate. Mike.
This question is because this is something I struggle to balance, right? And I must say, you know, because my problem is, let's say we do this wait list, like parent for coaches, right? These coaches that are looking for work, if we tell them, awesome, we'll let you know, you've done really well, but right now we don't need you, and we're going to try to keep them warm. Then what do you do when they're going to look for someone else? And then if you're just going to hire them, but you don't have, let's say, the work for them, then who's going to?
And that's a great question. And that's a great question. If they're not going to get work now, they say, no, I'm not going to be on a wait list, I'm going to leave. And that brings me to my next point as well, and the point after this here, because I was thinking about that. I was having a discussion with Kimberly, And Kimberly is in the nursing industry. And she does night shift work. We're talking a 10 p.m. shift to 7 a.m. And you've got so many hours you have to roster in the hospital. I was saying to Kimberly, Kimberly, what happens if a nurse says, I'm sick and I can't come in? Like, people's lives depend on these nurses coming to work. It's not like here where someone can cover, like these people's life depend on it. And Kimberly told me what they do in the hospital is in the event where somebody can't make it to a shift, they have a casual pool of nurses where the manager will go to the casual pool of nurses and say, hey, I need you to fill in with the shift. They don't do regular hours, they do cover hours. Hey, I need you to cover into that shift. Can you help me? And they love it because it's ad hoc work and they're available and some like that schedule. So then I said to Kimberly, I said, well, why don't we adopt that same approach into our area where we have our coaches, we've got our regulars that are doing the regular shifts, and then we've got our casual coaches where, you know, they've got another full-time job, but they can cover here and there. So back into your point, Mike, and I'm going to talk about another one, 2IC next. Start to develop a casual pool of coaches where they don't get regular hours, but in the event where you need an urgent cover, they can come in and step in. May.
We are actually thinking of that because we have a lot of family and friends that are keen, passionate about basketball, who would like to do coaching,
Yeah.
but can't do it full time. Oh, can't do commit.
Regular, yeah.
Can't commit it because they work. So we're actually thinking of maybe, yes, do the training with them and then have them as
A casual pool, yeah.
So maybe 2 or 3 working.
So I used to be, for my area, Canterbury Bankstown, when a coach said to me that he's continue on, I'd let him go. And I'd remove him from the chat. But then now I said, do you want to do casual work? A lot of times I say, look, I'm happy to fill in here and there. I keep them on my roster, I keep them on my chat, and then I start to develop a casual pool of coaches because sometimes the commitment's a lot.
Yeah.
And team, I just want to add to this point as well. Once you start to develop a strong team of coaches, right, and you start to have a really good casual pool of coaches, I want to give you a really good example. Any professional sports team, say in the NRL, if you're let's say you're a winger, if you don't perform well for a string of games, what does the coach do? The coach drops you. Now, does the coach say, look, man, you're not performing well and I don't have anyone to replace you, so I'm just going to keep you on board because we don't have anyone? No, the coaches have got other people that are begging and dying to get a position in first grade, that are more than willing to take that guy's position, right? So every single week, everybody's fighting for a position at the top level in the professional sports team. Now, whilst that's an extreme exaggeration, you want to have that same mindset into your roster. If a coach is not performing at that level that you want them to, you don't just keep them there just for the sake of you need a body and you can't do it. You have another guy and you say, look, I'm going to pull you off the roster for a bit. Obviously, you have a performance chat with them. I'm going to take you off the roster because I'm not getting that effort right now. So-and-so is going to fill in. And when you're ready, I'd love to have you back in. All of a sudden now, each week, everyone's fighting for their position because they know that there's a stream of talent coming in. But when the coaches know, and they can smell this, they're like sharks. When they know that they're desperate and that you need them, right? They smell blood in the water. They drop off performance. They don't care as much. All of a sudden, they've been in there for one term and they start to ask for big hourly rates because they know that you need them. They know they smell the blood in the water. But if you're comfortable, if you have a team with you, then you have that position. And at the end of the day, team, options equal power. Right? Yes, it's hard to find good quality coaches. For every 10, you have to find one. But if you're in a position where you have options, where you can pick and choose your roster, it's not easy. It's easier said than done. It does take that time. But when you have options where you can say, you know what, I've got 2 really good guys, but I've only got 1 position, that gives you power into your roster and into your business. Options equal power. Gerard, you had your hand up and then I'll go to Yanni. Gerard.
For new franchises, like franchises that are starting term 1, what's the best option because obviously since it's a new area, you're only going to have 3 hours, minis, littles and mighties.
Yeah.
When a coach is going to apply for that position and they say, oh, it's only 3 hours a week, why would they be like enticed to accept that offer? Because I had a coach that came in for a trial, absolute gun coach, and then I couldn't keep her because she wanted more hours. And 3 hours was enough.
Yeah, and that's a dilemma, isn't it? And in a second, I'm going to talk about bringing on a 2IC to combat that. And that's tough because if somebody comes in, they want 10, 15 hours to pay for the bills and stuff. you might as well bring on a 2IC, a part-timer that can meet that demand. I'm going to talk about that in my next slide. Your best bet in that situation, Gerard, is, you should communicate with other franchisees. We did try Sling, but we didn't have success in Sling. But if you communicate with other franchisees and say, guys, I've got this really gun coach in the Sutherland Shire, you know, what's the regional areas? Because they're not going to travel far. Because these days, if you're anything more than 2 minutes away, I want travel allowance. It's ridiculous. In that instance, I will say to bring on a 2IC, but in my second option, I will say speak to your neighbouring franchisees. Everybody's looking for extra hours, and see if you can fill up 10 in a week for them. That would be my suggestion to you. And that's a great question. It's a dilemma. They don't want to do 3 hours, right? They ain't going to pay the bills. Yanni, you're going to say something.
I was going to say, in terms of the coaches, we can call it casual sort of coaches. The only problem that's going to create is parents and kids are going to expect the same faces every week.
True.
And that's the main issue.
Yeah.
Maintaining stability.
Yeah.
So if you're going to chop and change coaches every week, they're going to start texting you, hey, where's coach so-and-so?
Yeah.
We had a child refuse to play because it wasn't
Yeah.
the same coach.
Yeah. Look, you don't want, because parents want the same. The kid forms a connection with the coach. They want the same one. If your coach is, if you have to go to your casual pool every single time, because you're having commitment issues, he's probably not the right dude commitment-wise. The casual pool is only there for emergency sakes, Yanni, where like you're there on the weekend, but you've got 2 venues running at the same time. You're at that Saturday one in Concord, and you need someone to go to the $5. It's not to solely depend on it, right? But it's to have it in the case of. Because I think at the end of the day, having 2 coaches there and one being a new face versus only having 1 coach there, you'd rather have that too. So we don't want to become solely dependent on the casual coaches. It's there in the event of a backup. But I think, team, the main concept that I want you to adopt is just not hiring on a basis of when you need, but just having the mindset where you're constantly searching for talent all year round. Your Indeed ad, your Facebook ad, your posters around the community are always up where you're looking for talent always. Because you want to be in that position where in the event where you have a coach leaving, like I know with my coaches, guys, when a coach comes in, they all got expiry dates, right? You need to know when their expiry date is. If they say to you, I'm starting an internship next year, expiry date 12 months, right? You need to know all of this stuff so that you know, okay, like we got one of our good guys, Bill. He's been with us for a very long time. I know his time's coming up. He's been with us for 3 years. He's one of our star coaches. His time is coming up because he's going to become a teacher soon. And I know that, and I'm planning for that, and I've got someone in the pipeline to take over. But if you don't know your coaches, if you don't know if they're studying, if they're doing uni internship, they're going to come out with the blue. So just make sure you also know your coaches' careers, what they want to do, so that you know what the expiry date is, so that you can start finding and have people in the pipeline. But it is a dilemma. It's a struggle, which is why I'm going to highly advise when you can and if you can, my next slide over here, which is about a 2IC, which I think is absolute game changer. Any questions, team, about this? Lito?
Just a suggestion to all those franchisees who are starting, because with Gerald and maybe with the other, as per our experience, we started term 2, we only have 2 coaches, one is Crystal and one's Will. And you suggested, Lito, you need to ask Bricks, which is our son.
Yeah.
Which is, I think that is a good idea. If you have your son, your nephew or family members, that you can easily tap when there is a problem with the coaches.
Yeah.
So I think that is a good, instead of getting someone
A stranger.
Yeah.
who will replace the coaches, because if that is your relative, it's very easy
True.
Yeah.
to call and
Yeah.
maybe just for today.
Yeah.
So at least you
And-
can cover.
and you know,
instead
yeah.
of asking someone, you will be in the
And for a long period of time, I had Gerard for 3 years, where I knew he could hold the coaches accountable.
Yes, right with Gerald.
I could bank on him. He's not going to call sick on Sunday morning.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he'd go out on Saturday night. I said, "You got class Sunday morning, yeah? don't do that to me, you know." But I agree. And then Gerard moved on, so we have Miriam, which I'm going to
I think we
introduce
need
to you soon.
Initially hire 2 coaches.
Yeah.
Aside from say for example, me and Luis, the franchise owner, we need another 2.
Yeah.
Not me, because I'm the owner, I'm the operator. So if that is only 1 plus me, and something happened with this guy,
You're in a pickle.
So it's you.
Yeah,
so it should be 2 plus you. So
100%.
if you don't have son, you don't have relatives, so you can cover,
100%.
right? So I think we can resolve the problem with that shortage of
Yeah.
coaches. I think that.
And I agree with you.
Yeah.
Someone had their hand up. Melissa.
What do we do if like there's a person who wants to volunteer as a coach? Like, are we okay with that as well? Like to have a volunteer pool or something?
Absolutely. Like if someone wants to volunteer, you know,
Yeah.
free money, free work, and free experience.
Although there's no commitment because it's a volunteer, right?
So then they're a casual, yeah. So then, so they're a volunteer, but when I can volunteer. Yeah.
Yeah, because he just loves to take coaching kids.
Someone
I would have that in my casual back burner, but it's not enough. It's not something to rely on. I would still have my 2A guys, my two A team, and this guy's in the casual pool. Don't rely.
They need to have the training.
And 100%. If you're going to have a volunteer, also got to remember, if they come in blindfolded to the class, well, you're just as good as having one coach in the class, right? So they do need to have training, have their reps. 100%. 100%.
Yeah, but are we allowed to do that regularly?
Train?
Volunteer coach?
Of course.
So
As long as you're not relying on them, and as long as they're trained up, and they're not just, hey, what's this all about, you know? For sure.
but we are allowed as a franchisee.
Of course.
Okay, good. That's good.
Emile,
Because that's
so
great.
for these talent, like you're saying, we're going to interview full year round. So you're going to hire coaches, but you're going to train them as well. And basically, we can train them like do they still need to go to Greg to train?
No. So you only came to us because you launched a new area, and we trained you. You're now competent within the program, and you've got coaches. They train under your guidance. Yeah.
Because I think that works for when you have shortage of coaches, if you have ongoing hirings
Yeah.
and training, that would be an extra coach for you.
100%.
So
And then if you get one, your fellow other South Gold Coast roader, you all can work to each other. Yeah. But team, the reality is the workforce between 18 to 30 is an entitled, soft, uncommitted workforce. And I mean that with the best of intentions. But that's just what we're dealing with, you know. Young people, they're on TikTok, they're on social media. You know, they beat the chest, they want $40 out of the gate, and they never coach a class in their it's just where we're heading. I don't think there's much we can do with it. That it kind of entitled itself. I know it was very different a while back, but it's just about combating that. It's about being in that mindset of, okay, this is going to be an issue in this industry for God knows how long. What can I do about it? What mindset shift can I change? So have your interviews, have your candidates ready. Always be on the lookout for good talent. Now I want to bring you into something else. And I recently, and this goes on to what Michael was saying, and I recently implemented this into my business, and this has been absolute game changing. Bring on a 2IC, a second in charge. Now, earlier on, Gerard said, oh, Emile, they're only doing 3 hours. And he's right. If they're doing only 3 hours, there's only so much commitment you're going to get from 3 hours. If you want to find a quick way to get quick commitment, you bring on a part-timer. A part-timer has set hours every single week and has more commitment than a casual that's doing 3, 4, 5 hours. And recently, about 6 months ago, Canterbury Bank sounds a lot. 400 enrollment area. Think about the problems that come. Coaches, this. I get this message all the time, God knows I get this message Saturday night. I'm not feeling well. I'm not sure if I'll be able to make it to class tomorrow. Who's experienced that text message? Many times. It's like, I don't know, are you coming? Are you not coming? Miriam's smiling. She probably's got one right now in her message. But I brought on a 2IC. I brought on recently in the last 6 months, Miriam. She does 15 hours a week, a combination of coaching, admin and outreach. She has tough conversations with coaches to hold them accountable, and she's had very tough conversations. She finds, recruits and new coaches for me. She calls all of our welcoming members. In fact, Miriam, if you don't mind standing up, what do you do on a day-to-day basis? Miriam, can you stand up? Can we give Miriam a clap? She's shy. Miriam, what do you do?
On a daily basis, so like I said, I have to follow a calendar as well. There's a term calendar that I follow. So every week is already set out for me.
program and see if they can for their son or daughter. So other than the welcome calls, I do outreaches to daycares, outreaches to primary schools, the quoting.
What do you do during the school holidays when there's no term running?
School holidays, I go out to the daycares and I go out to primary schools in person and on the phone. So I go out in person, I hand out flyers, I tell them about our program, and then on the phone, same exact thing.
What do you do, Miriam, when you get this text message? Because I don't get them anymore. What do you do? What do you do when you get this text?
So it depends. There are two options. I tell them to first I find out why they want to take it off. And if it's a silly reason, I'll try to convince them and tell them, no, you have to come into class. Like 2 weeks ago, I had a coach and he wanted to, on the spot, it was maybe 5 hours before the class, and he said he's feeling sick and he wants to take off. But I told him, I can't find a cover for you. You're not going to be able to find a cover. You're going to have to come. So either convince them to come and try to pressure them to come, because a lot of times they need that little push. They're like, oh, I'm not feeling well, maybe I want to come. Try to convince them to come. Most likely they will come, especially if they know that there's no cover for them.
That you don't tolerate it. Yeah.
They're not going to tolerate it. Something that Emile told me, which he always tells me all the time, is what you permit, you promote. So anything that you allow with one coach, all the other coaches are going to see.
Follow
that
suit.
okay.
Yeah.
And then they're just going to start doing the same thing. So don't allow it to begin with. Don't let them take, 3 times in a term off. Don't allow it. Don't accept it from the start, because then once you start accepting it, which happened with me a little bit, once you start accepting it, everyone else is just going to follow suit. They're going to start taking off and they're going to start acting. So start it off strong. Always make sure that everyone's, like you said, always have backups as well, which is very, very important.
Yeah. So.
What do you do when they are leaving some sick over the phone?
we get him to take a Pfizer. No, hold on, no. I think he misinterpreted. She doesn't go to the house and knock on their door. Give me if they're sick, genuinely, Miriam covers. I think Noel thinks it's a dictatorship here in Canterbury Basin. Thank you. Can we give Miriam a clap? That was great. So, guys, I had a discussion with Philip and Paul, and they were saying to me, Emile, I heard that you brought on a part-timer. What do they do? And I told them everything they do. Then they changed their question. Well, what does she not do? Right? Because Miriam practically runs the whole operation. Now, did I just say to Miriam and give her all the reins and say, Miriam, you're doing everything? No, she worked as a casual for 1 year. Didn't miss a single class, and I saw her work ethic for 1 year before she got promoted to part-time. So if you're going to hire a part-timer, like I said before, they've got to be trained up and they've got to be in accordance to your standards. It's not about just anyone that applies to it, bring them as a part-timer. Miriam proved herself for a year, and Miriam is eyes and ears on the court. She's had to have tough conversations with coaches and holds them accountable. Miriam essentially allows me to buy back a lot of time to work on other parts of the business. Now, Miriam does 15 hours a week and a part-timer. Miriam, is it safer to say that you're more committed as a part-timer than as if you were doing a casual couple of hours a week? See, so with part-timer, guys, if you want that commitment, if you want that person to be committed, like Gerard said, 3 hours a week, I'm not interested, move towards trying to find a 2IC. Now, there's probably a limiting belief that you have in mind saying, Emile, how do I bring on a 2IC? I can't afford to bring on a 2IC. It's actually not as hard as you think. How I would structure it is firstly figure out how many coaching hours you do a week. Let's say that you do 10 hours of coaching a week. You offer the part-timer 12 or 13 hours a week. 10 hours of coaching, so you're getting your coaching, and 2 to 3 hours of admin outreach coaching rostering. So you're not out of pocket. And if you average your expense for paying someone 13 hours a week for the whole year, it's actually more affordable as a part-timer because their rate does drop because they get benefits, annual leave, sick days, all those other stuff. So from a financial perspective, it's actually feasible over a whole year versus the casual that needs to be minimum on the award level 1 is 30 something if they're 21, if they're 21, right? So it's not that far off. And a lot of people, I can't afford to have a part-timer. Just think, if you've got 5 hours, if you've got 10 hours, do those coaching hours plus 2 or 3, right? For admin and outreach. And then during the holidays, when you don't have your term program, your 2 ICs delivering your holiday camps, recruiting coaches and doing outreach to the community like Miriam does. Getting a lot of door slams doing the daycares, right? So team, I think that is, I've put this into my business 6 months ago, and in terms of buying back my time and being able to work on other things, it's been absolutely game changer. Because before I brought Miriam on, everybody was a casual since I started the business. The level of commitment you get for a 2 IC outweighs any casual. Any other questions, team, about a 2 IC before I continue? Lito.
Okay, Emile, it seems that we are talking for a 2 IC as a coach, right? Plus a little bit of admin.
Yeah.
So in my point of view as a owner, as a franchisee, can we also have a 2 IC or what we call a venue manager that can help us? Say for example me, Edison, who is the franchisee that can run the business at the same time, at the same day, without conflict or without overlapping.
Yes.
For example,
yeah.
we are running Saturday morning, Bidwill morning, and we also have one at Imo Place same time. So how can we do that if we don't have another or a 2 IC? Or
So,
can we hire a 2 IC as?
Of course, and that's exactly what Miriam does. Miriam doesn't respond to email management mostly. She's more so going to the venue, making sure the balls are pumped, having the training kids, speaking to the facility manager, making sure the coaches are coming on time, and just overseeing the whole operation of the classes. She does do a lot of hands-on coaching, right? But she's there and she holds the other coaches accountable, because if all your other coaches are just casuals, who's holding who accountable? Only you, the franchise owner, right? So you can definitely have that. And the whole purpose of bringing on a 2 IC is if you have two venues and they're both available on the weekend and they're both available Saturday morning, it's going to be very difficult for you to bounce between 2 venues without having a 2 IC, which means you can only pick one venue, which means you're bottlenecking your business, right?
Yeah.
So that's everything that Miriam does, 100%. But again, you must train your 2 IC. Miriam has been trained thoroughly. She knows renewal rates, churn rates. She's got scripts for everything. She's got a welcoming script that I've given her. It's not a matter about free ball or good luck. She's got scripts and playbooks that she follows to make sure she's executing a high standard. So just make sure that's a clear distinction. Because if you bring someone on and there's no formal training or nothing, back to that fire problem again. Or even worse, you'll come back in and say, oh, just let me do it. I'll do it. Back to Angel's point. Pully.
And how do you train them?
Me? I train them. I spent with Miriam. How did I train you, Miriam? I did pretty much a full day training. I gave her all playbooks to review, right? She got a whole bunch of playbooks to review. I said, read them all. And then I sat down and gave her we almost did a full day workshop. This is how we do this. This is how you do rostering. And I answered questions for her and I spent pretty much a full day. And then once a week, we jump on the phone for an hour and I do a bit of a support training ongoing. Yeah. But because Miriam's because Miriam's been in my system, she knows a lot about my standard. If I brought in an outsider, you might have to spend more training on an outsider than if you did someone internally. Because she knew this.
It's like there was coaches first and then now
Yeah. Edison? Guys, this Edison's question.
No, that's all right. So does everyone in your area knows that Mariam is the head coach?
Yes.
Basically. Yeah, because that's one of the things that we're looking at, right? Because when they register on the class, they see our faces, head coach.
And my face is still there. They see my
So
face.
that's the thing. And if they put up a complaint, oh, I want to see Edison, I want to see Diane.
Yeah.
And if you have your head coach there, like, they don't want to see Diane. So I think it's how we impart to people that this is actually the head coach of the venue.
Yeah.
Because I remember 2 years ago, it was actually my idea to put a head coach here. And, right? And Yanni was like, no, we should remove it. Actually, we should now. Yeah, we should now. Because now all the franchises are head coaches.
Yeah, true.
Because you get ladies that don't coach.
Yeah.
And you got franchise, Mariam who's not a franchisee, but a head coach.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I think we need to make it, yeah, it's confuses everything, you know,
Yeah.
the parents and all that.
I see what you're saying. Can I say, back to your point, if a parent is demanding that they speak to you, you're doing a disservice to your head coach if you just say, oh yeah, bypass. That's going back to the limiting belief. Then all of a sudden they're just going to go straight to you.
Yeah.
So why'd you hire this person in the first place? I would, if I had a parent say to me, I want to speak to Emile. Mary's at my class as well. Mary works in conjunction with Miriam. If somebody says, I want to speak to Emile, I would incorporate my head coach into that conversation. Because the whole purpose of getting a head coach is to deal with these day-to-day stuff. If they're just going to shortcut straight to me, to the owner, like, what am I...
His point is they don't know that because on their ticket it says that their point,
Yeah.
point of contact is you.
Yeah, correct. And on the website, it'll always be the franchise owner, right?
Yeah.
That's why Miriam does welcome calls. She calls in all the Miriam. Parents know that it's the first point of contact. She's also at all my classes as well. So whilst it does say my name, which it has to on the franchise, head coach, they see Miriam at the class. Miriam does the welcoming calls. Miriam runs the whole operation. They become comfortable.
Franchisee Emile, head coach.
Yeah. Or head coach. Yeah, I could.
Actually,
I could.
Yeah, good.
Diana was suggesting to have, you know, when we had like a landing page of who we are,
Yeah.
like per area, we used to have that. I don't know what happened, but
It's coming up after.
yeah. So yeah, we should have a landing page like Camden, who is what, who is
Yeah.
what. So when the parents go there, like this is who you should speak to.
They still
right?
know the owner per se,
Yeah.
they also have know that the chain of command.
In the way that you want them, that are accurate, dead on, and don't require much change. And it's called creating a master prompt. I've got a master prompt. All my team members have got a master prompt. Respond to emails. So I'm going to show you a video, guys. It goes for about 2 minutes. The audio is coming from the laptop, so we might need to be a bit quiet to listen to it. It's a Loom video that shows you how to set up your master prompt. Enjoy. Takes 2 minutes.
Hey team, how we doing? Are we enjoying the Rivers Leadership Conference? Scream out, give me a thumbs up with the mic.
Wait, what'd you say? Put the mic there? That's a good idea.
Your mic or a mic next to us.
Hey team, how we doing? Are we enjoying the Boomers Leadership Conference? Scream out, give me a thumbs up if you're enjoying the Boomers Leadership Conference. That's it. Well, it's a virtual video. I hope you are enjoying it. Okay, so it's time to create our master prompt. Think of master prompt of your individual avatar.
You guys can't hear it?
How you respond to emails.
Yeah. So I've got my master prompt that I use, my role identity. I've even told ChatGPT to challenge my thinking, because sometimes all it does, it agrees with you. The style.
I'm very simple.
I like bullet points. I don't want jargon. I've even said respond to it like a year 5 level, because I don't like big words. I don't want emojis. I don't want dashes, no fluff, none of that stuff. So I've downloaded that as a PDF. That's my master prompt. I then open up a project file. You need the pro version. I go new project. I call it Emile's master prompt. You want a project file so you don't have to keep uploading this document. And this stays as under your project files. Once you've created your project file, you'll see it appears here on the left. You're going to click Add Files on the top right.
So you're going to upload.
And then you upload your master prompt. Once you've uploaded it now, you don't have to continue to tell ChatGPT who you are. You use this GPT and it references the master prompt every time you reply. That's why you have to put it. You have to put it as a project file. So now whenever you open up a chat in ChatGPT, it references that master prompt. So in this, I'm saying, please send me an email about how good the Boomers Leadership Conference is. I'm doing an example here. What we've learned, what the key points of the Boomers Leadership Conference is. Send. And guys, it does it better than I would do, to be honest with you. So here's a polished draft you can send to your franchisee. Summarise the Boomers Seed. Thank you, team. I want to thank everyone for coming here. Next steps, we don't want the momentum. Here's a BLC implementation, Thursday. So I've created a master prompt team. I create a project file and I reference it. So if you're going to respond to schools, if you're going to respond to parents, ChatGPT knows who your customer is, who your ideal avatar is, and will tailor the content to your ideal avatar. Did anyone know about the master prompt?
No.
No? Joe, did you know about it? Yeah?
So I don't have the promotion, so what I've done is I've made only one chat.
Yeah.
So that's helpful.
But then when you do that, it slows down. It lags a lot because it's got too much content in it. And then it starts freezing and lagging out. When you create a master prompt, Joe, by the way, guys, you should all get the pro version, 30, 40 bucks a month, best investment of your money. When you get the pro version and you have a project file, you can always create a new chat and not get lagged out. And you don't have to reference it because you have to always feed knowledge to ChatGPT. You don't have to re-feed the knowledge if you've got the project file, it references that.
There's chances of mistakes.
Yes.
Version has limited.
And you can only upload, and memory.
Limited memory of who you are or your previous chats. So you're gonna have to delete other chats.
Delete, yeah.
If you want to free them up.
Yeah.
But it does remember you. Like for example, if you had a previous chat, sometimes you create a new chat.
It's referencing it, and I notice it does do that. Yeah.
You create a new chat. So yeah, it's with the pro version.
Yeah.
So you have to.
A lot of you guys seem shocked with this master prompt. I can see a lot of faces like, wow. Did anybody know that you can do this in ChatGPT?
No.
These are how the pros are using ChatGPT.
Yeah.
They're feeding it, they're prompting it with knowledge so that the output's better. Lito.
So if you're running two business in different services,
Yeah.
do I need to create two master prompts?
Give me an example.
Two different?
Yeah.
So that is, I can upload it in the same account.
Yes. As is.
It's like
No, not two different.
Oh no, you need a master prompt for that business. Yeah.
And then, but only one account.
Yes. You just create another project file, Lito.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So team, this goes back to systems that we can use to buy back our time, right? So that we can focus. It's not about, Emile wants us to respond to all emails, ChatGPT, I'm going to lose the human touch. No, the human touch is you being at venues, greeting your members, greeting your families, speaking to your coaches, speaking to your members. It allows you to buy back. That's all the human touch here. This is just creating a master prompt so that ChatGPT knows you. And if you want, guys, bonus tip, if you're in a very unique area or demographic, like, I don't know, Penrith or Mount Druitt, and there's something unique about that area, prompt it on all the unique characteristics about my area. By the way, I'm in Queensland. The demographic is here. They like this, they like that. Geez, you just blow it up then, right? So if you can prompt it based on your demographics in your franchise territory, that's ChatGPT on steroids. So team, that's my bonus tip. It seems like we enjoyed that tip a lot because we're learning from it, which is great. It takes you 45 minutes, set up a master prompt. Now, team, like I mentioned before, it's not about implementing all of these systems into your business. It's about finding the one system that you want to implement into your business. So what you're going to do is you're going to turn to the page and you're going to tick which system you want to implement into your business. Why did you choose this system? How are you going to implement? And most importantly, you've got to set a deadline. When are you going to implement this system by? We're going to spend 5 minutes doing this, team, and we're going to get into our break. So go to the page. I'm under reflection. Choose one system to implement. By the way, the master prompt's not there.
What if I want 4?
You want 4?
Yes.
I will do one and then do a second one after. Because believe me, I've done that before. I've tried to implement multiple things. So find out your system, team. Arthur. One system you want to implement. One book where you can learn and fast track. I'm not going to introduce you to Manda because he's going to, I don't want to take his limelight, but Manda currently owns 2 BFT franchises, BodyFit franchise. So he's an actual franchisee and he's been around the franchise game as an executive for a whole bunch of companies. So we're very fortunate to learn from Manda. Don't be shy, pick his brains to the best he can. He's going to give a lot of valuable advice, guys. So he's going to be speaking for about an hour. and then we're going to finish off with a 15-minute Q&A between Manda and I. You can fire away and ask any questions that you like to either Manda or myself. Does that sound good? Yeah. Without further ado, warm welcome to Manda, please. There you go, my friend.
Thanks, Emile. All right. First of all, I feel so left out not having a Boomers jersey on me, so that's not cool. I saw the agenda and everyone has to wear one, so I felt a bit not part of the team. So next time you got to hook me up on one. Speaking of consistency and speaking of standards, I think very few people come close to Emile when it comes to following what he's actually said, right? Which comes down to his own uniform standards. I've known him for like around 2 years, and I don't think I've ever seen him wear anything but a little Boomers t-shirt. I'm pretty sure if you peel that out, there'll be another one inside, and then you peel that out, and the entire thing's tattooed on his skin, probably, right? So that's amazing. So awesome for that. Now, are we comfortable? Are we feeling good?
Yes. Yep.
Great. So I want everyone to stand up. Grab their things, grab their bags, grab the t-shirts, whatever jumpers you have, and go and sit somewhere next to someone you do not know as much. You know least of, all right? So obviously babies are allowed to be where they are. They're all good. Pick a table, pick someone that you know the least of. Grab your drinks.
I'm going to sit here. I don't know the Kirstens that much. And the family. Sorry. Hey, Ella, how are you? Did I steal your chair? You enjoying it? You having a good time? Nah, you'll be all right.
To the table and everyone sitting the same people.
The exact same table.
Nice to meet you, Miguel. Thanks, Kimberly. Thanks, Kirsten. I don't remember. Like, I got key dot points and I work off that. But a lot of this stuff I've been working on for 2-3 years.
Too little.
Okay. What was his key takeaway?
We're talking about the second in charge.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm asking him what number we're looking at to have the second in charge.
Yeah.
And he mentioned to me that it depends if you still manageable with together with your partner, like wife or husband. So you don't need that one unless, like him in his situation, he had a 2 unit. So and at the same time it runs with almost same time, same day. So he's looking at to have a second in charge.
Amazing, awesome.
Yes.
So I didn't catch your name.
It's Noel.
No. All right. So when we say thank you to Noel, the way we clap is we go 3, 2, 1, and then we do one big clap. All right. Ready? Let's try this. 3, 2, 1. Well done. Awesome. You guys have done this before. Who did you speak to?
Joe.
All right. What's Joe's key takeaway?
Similar to what we said before, the second in charge and pretty much managing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Same. Is there a different takeaway on the table?
We had, for example, we had over here Sarab getting more time for himself and more time with, working on the business than in the business, same sort of thing.
Yeah.
Phil again talking about trusting more people and allowing them to to do more of the work is also similar to the second in charge. Gerard was talking about how understanding that just because he can do 100%, it's not bad that his staff are only doing 80% because 80% is still good. Mm-hmm. So he doesn't need to emphasize so much on the 100. And Joshua was talking about again, the planning, the calendar.
Yeah.
And I was talking more about the exploring the casual pool because I just hire lots of coaches just to keep them instead of the casual pool. So exploring that idea.
How good is that summary, guys? Sorry, catch your name?
Michael.
Michael, get rid of Michael, guys. 3, 2, 1. Ah, someone slipped. Someone slipped. All right, who over here wants to give that kind of summary?
No, not me.
You're the closest. You are the closest. Okay, what was your takeaway?
Same. Like,
Give me something new. Give me something new.
That's all we talked about. Empowering your coaches.
Yes.
Step back, you know, and let them do their thing. They might just surprise you.
Yeah.
So, if you don't empower them, they don't grow. Maybe you can. You actually. You do.
A second takeaway. Let's go.
A second takeaway, come on, because I only spoke to yeah.
Yeah, as a new franchisee, then how we run it, like what was the activity doing, and what's the AI, or what's the system we learn. So pretty much it's everything.
Yeah.
As a new franchisee, learning lots of things.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. What's your name?
Justin.
Justin and.
May.
All right, Justin and May. Let's give it up. 3, 2, 1. And Greg, why don't you sum it up for this table?
Okay, so it's basically this table, similar to what's around the room. It was about becoming, they were kind of more discussing about becoming a owner rather than an operator, I think is one of the key takeaways.
Yeah.
And myself and Kimberly were actually more on the limiting kind of beliefs as a good thing, where sometimes that can be a big limiting in the business, so about changing that focus and shifting it.
Yeah. Amazing. Awesome. All right, let's go to Greg, guys. 3, 2, 1. That's awesome. All right, guys, we've got around an hour, which is not a lot of time in the normal talks that I do. So we're going to try and run with this, right? If I do go over time, Kimberly, just pull me back to let me know it's time for afternoon tea or something. But we're going to try and squeeze this in an hour or so, and then obviously, as Emile and I are then going to go in and do some Q&As. Now, the content that we're going to talk about, a lot of this is going to be interactive. I'm going to be walking around, right? So I want you guys to be jumping in and out, because that's the reason we're here, right? You're not here to be spoken to. You're here so that we can all speak together, workshop this, and walk away with a few key takeaways. If it's 1, if it's 2, we're going to walk away with something that we can go in and implement in the business by the end of today, right? Does that sound like a plan?
Yep.
That's great energy, guys. Obviously, I've got the afternoon slot, which is not great. It's not ideal, but I expect better than that. Is that acceptable? Are we going to do this together? Yeah. Amazing. Awesome. Great. Now, who here feels like a firefighter every now and then? A firefighter. Great. Hands up. Firefighter? Good. Who's guilty of 7 a.m. email sprints that we do in the morning? Yes. Who's guilty of the long marathon weekends that we do of just work? Saturdays and Sundays, right? And who is guilty of, this is my favorite, no one can do it as better than I can. Aha, yes. Congratulations, guys. You've practically played every single player on your team. Every single position that you guys usually coach with, you're doing that. Potentially you're refereeing as well at the same time, right? And you're basically on the basketball court. What we need today to be is to get yourselves away from the court and onto the balcony, right? I want you guys to think of this as, how do I stop playing and how do I start coaching the team, right? If you guys aren't the coaches, who's going to be? If you guys are playing, who's coaching? Does that make sense? Yeah. Cool? Awesome. Now, tell me, why is it that this actually happens? I'm just curious. Like, why do we feel the need to be on the basketball court? It's obviously a figure of speech. Why do we feel the need to be there? I'm just curious. Just shout things out. Control freak.
Expectation, high expectation.
High expectations, control freak.
Service-based.
Tell me again, tell me more.
Well, you're providing a service, so you obviously want it to have a high standard.
Great, great. You've got expectations, high expectations there. What else, guys?
Trust issues.
Trust issues. Letting go. Issues with letting go, right? And usually what that is I like calling that an operator trap. It actually is a trap. You're kind of stuck in it, right? So it's one of those things like you're stuck in the daily grind, you're putting away fires, fixing mistakes, and dealing with the small problems, right? You feel the need that you need to be doing every single thing in the business. There's this funny saying someone once told me is like, what's the difference between a franchise, actually, no. What's the similarity between a franchise owner and a firefighter?
Always putting out fires.
Always putting out fires? There's something else? Well, they both look great on photos, yet they always smell of smoke because they're burning out, all right? So it's one of those things where you always feel that you're in it because you're the only one who can fix it. Now, the question I have for you guys is, this is the reality, right? But this is where the challenge is, right? So all that you get done right now as business owners, business operators, and the amount of productivity that you get being on the court, being on the basketball court, doing what you have to be doing, imagine what it could be like if you were actually leading the business, right? And I don't necessarily like using the word owner, because owner means nothing, right? You could be an owner of nothing, right? It's just a title. But use that and replace that with leader, right? Because you're leading, because in leading you're in front. You're not inside, right? You're at the front of it. So you think about this as, what's the opportunity cost that you're missing out on? The fact that you are not leading from the front is costing you and the business in terms of growth, scale, opportunity, other things outside of Little Boomers, right? Your family time, your social time, your relaxation time, all those things that you could be doing if you're not actually leading it from the front, right? And the truth remains is like you become the person who fixes everything. Now there's one piece of psychology that's actually associated with that. One is definitely not being able to let go, but the other one that people don't usually talk about is, it's a 3-letter word. It starts with E.
Ego.
Bingo. What about ego? Tell me. What about?
It's way, you know, that they don't want to be seen by themselves or others, that they couldn't do it, they can't do it, they're good at it. They're poor owners, not successful owners.
Yep.
Determines they're stuck with how they should be defining success.
100%, because they think that their title makes them or lets them perform in the area they need to be performing rather than elevating themselves from that position. Does that make sense? Right? So having let go is a very, very important area that we've got to learn to let go. It's not something that you switch on or off. It's putting a system and process in place to do that. Now, in terms of introduction, I won't spend too much time doing this. I've been in franchising for 20 odd years, long time. I know I don't look that old, but I am. The biggest franchises I've actually worked for, 300-400 stores, multi-million dollar corporations. I was head of franchise recruitment. I've been head of franchise operations. I've been a general manager. A lot in the franchise executive kind of corporate space, which taught me a lot about systems and processes. I love franchising because you get to deal with people, with like real people, right? It's not a corporation. Surely you would understand from Optus, like, you know, it's not a corporation where you're just working robots, or, you know, it just becomes a whole status symbol of being in a corporate situation. A franchise lets you deal with like real people. That's what I enjoy the most about it. Now, over the last 5 or 6 years, I've transitioned. I think COVID taught us a lot of things, and for myself as well. The largest business I was managing back then was turning around $100 million. I was a CEO of the business, and we were running a few franchise brands under our portfolio. So we were like a master franchisee of multiple brands, very complex operations, but it was about 800 to 900 people that were working for me, right? Massive business, but COVID obviously, you know, had other plans, and then I decided to follow what the passion is. A lot of us over here are doing exactly that. A lot of us have your day job, and then you have Little Boomers, which is what your heart is, what your soul, what fills up your cup, right? For most of us, it's that. It's coaching, it's training, it's working with small kids. So that was the turning point of getting into doing stuff which I absolutely enjoy and I'm fulfilled with it, is working with business owners. So I've worked with probably a few hundred business owners by now. The biggest business is around $120 million mark, and the smallest ones being a couple of mil, right? So that was my why on why I kind of got there, because I get to work with real people and real changes. I also have a couple of BFTs, Body Fit Training, if anyone knows the franchise, around 400 odd franchises around the world, global. I got into it fairly early. So I've got 2 that are currently running and operational, and there's 1 that's a territory that's been developed as we speak. Now, real truth, I literally drove past my 5-dock one on my way over here, and I hadn't been there for like almost 2.5 months. So I just peeked in to just see who was working, who the trainers were, how the studio manager was, because I have planned and I've positioned it so that he can do that without me, right? So, and that's the dream. right? It doesn't just happen straight off. When I first bought it, I was actually coaching 30 hours a week. I'm a personal trainer. I've done that for a number of years during COVID, and that was my safe space. I know exactly how to do that. But you can't scale and grow whilst you're doing that. Does that make sense? Cool? All right, so what we call the operator trap. Now, we're going to do a very, very quick exercise. Grab your exercise books, get a pen, and let's write down 5 main things that you did in terms of work over the last 5 days. So one major thing.
You mean work?
Work, as in Lil Boomer's work.
Okay.
Yep. So not your other work. So top 5 things that you did, very, very quickly. Just for operator, L for leadership. Which means if that task was an operational task, put an O. If that task was a leadership task, put L. Do we have more O's or do we have more L's? Who has more O's next to it? Don't be shy, guys. And how many more L's do we have? More L's? Saurabh? Any more L's? Don't be shy, that's all right. Okay, everyone speaks to Saurabh at the end of today in terms of what he has done for his leadership, all right? 5 years.
5 days.
All right. So think about this. If you guys have been sitting in the O, doing the O, and the impact that you have, just to my point earlier, imagine what we could do if we have leadership as an L, right? Imagine if you had more L's associated next to your tasks. What impact would that have in the business? I need a few shares. What would that do to your business if you had more L's on it?
Growth.
Opportunities to grow.
Growth, opportunities. What else? Throw it out there. Come on, guys. I'm going to start picking on you. More L's and O's. What does that do to your business?
Make more money.
Make more money. Great. I like it. He's gone straight to the money. I love that. What else?
Extending
Expansion.
extending the lifespan as well.
Of?
The business lifespan. Like you're extending more, let's say 5 years, 10 years.
Mm-hmm. 100%. Yep. More leadership tasks. What else, guys?
Freeing up more time.
What's that?
Freeing up more time.
Freeing up more time in order for you to
Manage. If you're growing, you need time to even grow, and if you're growing, you need time to manage those as well. So I'll say, if you have more of L, then
Yep.
doing more of the leadership
Yep.
tasks,
Yep.
you have time to manage those effectively and have them operate sustainably.
100%. 100%. Now, guys, the most successful franchises that I've actually worked with have 2 things in common. Do you want to know what those 2 things are? Take a guess. Number 1? No? Very simple things. Emile touched on it earlier. The 2 things. Mindset is good. That's overarching. Systems and people. All right? They've got the systems that set up the processes. It's the engine that kind of works. The people fuel it. Right? So they've got this engine that's always working smoothly without any friction. So think about the engine block being your systems, the engine oil in there being your people potentially, right? So those together is what is actually fueling that engine nice and smooth. Yeah? Does that make sense? Now, what I like calling is a leadership model, which I'm going to walk you through, all right? So it consists of 5 different areas. As long as we work in those 5 different areas in a certain pattern, individually, and if they all kind of come together, then you've kind of figured out kryptonite. Okay? Do you guys want to know what that is?
Yep. Yes.
Thank you, guys. All right, cool. So this is what I call your leadership engine. All right? Think of this like a basketball that needs to be spinning at all times, right? For your analogy. It starts at the first one, which is right over here, and it kind of goes into a loop and then ends over there, and then we keep doing that over and over again until the ball is spinning freely without any friction at all times. What do you think the first one is? We've got an icon over there. No? Someone said something down there? Vision. It's vision. Emile spoke about vision earlier. He spoke about his vision that he has for the next 10 years. Do we guys have your own visions for your own territories and your own businesses? Who has one? You've got 1. You've got 2. You've got 3. You've got 4. 5. Great. When was the last time you sat on a plane not knowing where it's going? Anyone done that before? No? Yeah? Then why would you do that with your businesses and your lives? It's like you're kind of not quite sure where you're going, right? It all starts with a vision. You need to know exactly what you're trying to build over here, right? If you don't know what the vision is, your team certainly don't know what the vision is. The next people of stakeholders of influence around you don't know what the vision is. Everyone's kind of lost and clueless, right, in terms of what that needs to be. Now, could you shout out what's your vision for your business?
My vision? Expansion?
What does that mean?
Start off like when I entered into kind of one business, whatever I bought.
Yeah.
And the vision is to grow, expansion, extension, helping the family, the community.
Great. There's a problem with that vision that I have. That's great. What is that? It's not specific. It's open. Grow could be one extra enrollment, or is it 100? What else?
Charles' goals.
What's that?
Charles, my husband?
Yes.
His goal is he wants 400 kids.
Yep.
And quit his job.
There's a problem with that vision as well. What is it? When? Time frame. Is that happening in 1 month or 10 years?
You didn't ask for time frame.
You didn't mention it. No. Your goal needs to be based on a certain time frame, right? I'm sure you had that.
Smart goals.
Smart goals, exactly that. Okay? So think of this as a lighthouse, like it's your guiding kind of principle in terms of where we're going. You're navigating towards something. What that something is you guys need to figure that out. If you don't know what that is, then we have an issue, right? Where are we headed? Why is it important? Why is it important to have 400 enrollments in a certain amount of time? Is that going to give Charles what and the family what? Being very clear about it, right? And what does winning look like? Whatever that winning is for you, right? It doesn't have to be dollars. It could be dollars. It could be dollars. It could be freedom. It could be spending more time with the kids. It could be that. Okay? And if your team can actually answer these in a flash, whose team actually know what your goals are? Anyone's team knows what your goals are, of those guys who actually put their hands up for goals? They do? Excellent. So if I ask your team these 3 questions potentially, you think they'd have an answer? Amazing. All right. So we're going to spend the next 2 minutes thinking about what goal you'd want to have for your business, and we're going to write it down. Okay? Let's get some music going for a little for the next 2 minutes if we can. And guys, put your thinking caps on, and we're going to write down what your goal is. I want it to be specific. I want it to mean something. I want it to have you answering 3 questions. Where are we headed? Why is it important? And what does winning look like for you? All right, 60 seconds. Ask them one, hang on. Are you guys all keen? And one key takeaway from this morning is what you need to ask your person. Everyone is speaking to the person to your left, right? Your person to your left, you're asking them what's their key takeaway from the session this morning yet. Go. She's so happy. Is she just around to turn 2? 17, 18. Wow, that's amazing. All right, 15 seconds, you wrap it in, 15 seconds. All right, guys, let's wrap it up in 3, 2, and 1. All right, everyone back. They love talking to each other.
Back to what it was when I first started.
Has it dropped back? Drop down?
Oh no, I've put less effort into it because I've been busy with
Sure.
my work.
So you're going to try and bring the business back up again. Good. And then it's like, what does that actually look like and what does that actually mean, right? Yeah.
Increasing my staff with my staff is my support, and then that translates into more staff, translates to more venues and daycares. So I used to do like 5 daycares a day. And I used
Yourself, yeah.
Yeah, and I was, which is fun because that was what I was doing. I was busy with other things, so I had to put things on the back burner.
Yeah.
Eventually the back burners went cold.
100%.
Do you know what I mean? So
100%. Yeah. We've got to try and now replace you in that.
honestly, it was a priority shift.
Yeah. Yeah, prioritization.
So what was the most important to me obviously took priority, and then that obviously took over. So hence my decisions now that I'm doing right now in business is shifting based with my priority.
Amazing. Awesome. All right, guys, 10 more seconds, and we're going to just get into a couple of shares. That's all. We're not spending too much. Sorry, can anyone hear that? No. Oh, there we go.
Have the franchise pass the 14-day vacation test in term 1, weeks 1 and 2, 2026, for both Bill and I. Good.
That's good? Was that a specific goal?
Yes.
What did you like about it? Time frame?
Where did you go?
Good? Was there something that you didn't like about it?
Why?
The why? Why do you want that?
Why?
What's your why behind it?
Buy back more time.
Buy back more time.
To do other things I'm passionate about.
Great. Awesome. Right? Give a reason behind why you want to do that. It just means a lot more for that. Yeah? I'm keen to hear your goals. Obviously, your team knows of them as well. So.
To open 2 more term classes in other venues for the whole of 2026.
Guys, sorry, can we just get your attention, please? Yeah?
A school holiday program this December, just 1 class, and collaborate with other franchisees in Little Boomers and outside Little Boomers.
Great. Awesome. Let's give it up for 3, 2, 1. All right, what was good about that goal? Come on, guys. More energy. What was good about it? Specific? Time bound. What was not good about it? The why? Yeah? How would you measure it? It's too small. Yeah? And when I say that, that's not a bad thing. It's almost, it's in a short period of time, but what's going to happen in 12 months' time? What's going to happen in 3 years' time? What's the plan for 5 years? Now, obviously, we're thinking outside what we normally start thinking about, but that's when, as a leader, you're the one who's trying to map that out. Emile's mapping out his next 10-year plan, right? So think about what that major goal, your macro goal is going to be in 12 months' time, and break that down into your quarters. That's you start making it achievable. Is that making sense? Yeah? What's your goal?
Oh my God. Someone else?
You're not ready?
No.
Oh, you're not ready. Who's ready here?
I'm ready.
You're ready. Good.
Okay. So my goal is in next year my enrollment turn to 200. In the third year my enrollment turn to 300. In the fourth year my enrollment turn to 400. Every year I pretty much to find out new venues to achieve that total enrollments.
Okay. Why are you doing that?
Why I do that? Because I'm expanding. I have passion with basketball. I have passion with kids. I want kids to have fun with us, and it's a win-win. We contribute to community, and I can make some money, and I have some more time. Yeah.
Amazing. Awesome. Let's give it up. 3, 2, 1. Great. Awesome. Now, this is just, obviously, we just spent 2 minutes doing this. Imagine if you actually spent 20 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, actually trying to architect what you actually want from this. It's a very loaded question. What's your vision? But that's what's driving it, right? If you sat on a plane that's going to the Gold Coast, you know exactly where it's going. You know how long it's going to take, and you know what the destination is going to look like once you get there. But if you don't know that, then you're just kind of flying blind, right? Does that make sense? Yeah. Cool. All right, what happens once you've got the vision? What's next? You get free points. You get a cake, afternoon tea. Systems. There we go. Bingo. Who said that? Extra cake for you. Extra cake for you. All right, these are your step-by-step guides. Now, of all people, Emile is probably the master of this, right? He's probably created more systems that are required in life, right? But that is over-engineering. That's fine. That's who he is, right? So exploit it. Use it. If there's something that's not there, ask him. I'm sure he'll build it for you, right? So think of this as if something that needs to happen more than once, build a system for it. If there is a parent that asks for a makeup class and emails you, who has a template for that on what to respond back? Systemize it. Is it just the once that's going to happen? It's going to happen all the time. What's your system for it? Yeah? So think of it as a breakdown over here. Number 1, write down the steps. Okay? Write down how to do each main task. Make it easy for anyone to follow. Emile mentioned year 5. It's actually, the science says year 7 instructions is the best known instructions in terms of English. And when you want to actually let someone know, explain them in year 7 instruction level. That is the average understanding. Try it out, make it better. Ask someone else to try out your steps, because if they might make sense to you but not to someone else, try them out. Get your lowest denominator of a coach, not being bad about this, like someone who is your junior coach. Get them to say if they can do it, anyone can do it. Get them to trial that. Teach your team, the rest of the team, on exactly what that needs to be. Teach your new people and keep everyone updated. Inspect that is actually being used. Don't just expect, inspect, right? That is actually in motion. And last one is, it is a continuous improvement cycle. You're always working on it. What else can I do to make it better? How else can I get the friction out of it, right? And as I mentioned at the start, if something happens more than once, make a system for it. You'll be glad you did so. Is this resonating, guys? Yes? All right. Is there anyone over here who would like to share on a system right now that's relevant to Lil Boomers that is making an awesome impact? It can't be zero, and it can't be whatever word you made up. Pfizer. It can't be a pharmaceutical company. A system that you guys, who is good at systems here? Great. Sorry, what's your name? Kirsten, please share one with us.
A good system that I use at the moment is Emile templates. It's very simple, but it's very productive as well. Like if I'm looking for venues at the moment, like every venue that I have, I just customize the name,
Mhm.
and then bang, send it. There's heaps as well, like email templates help me a lot.
So the email template lets you email more frequently to more venues in less amount of time.
Yeah.
That's what's helping you,
Yeah,
right?
it's pre-written.
Yeah.
All you have to do is just customize the name and any other little details that you want to add in there, and then you're all good to send it. It's it's not time consuming at all.
Amazing. Let's get it for cursing, guys. 3, 2, 1. Great work. Awesome. All right. What comes after systems, guys? What's the third piece on a leadership bowl? It's a bit of a giveaway, wasn't it? With the icon over there. Now, this is going to be the main question. Why do you guys think system is going to come before people? You've got the vision. We've now got the system in place that's going to operate. You're operating rhythm. Aren't people meant to be like more important? What's the thinking over there? People run systems. People operate under systems. Imagine it happened the other way around. Every person has their own system. Right? When there's ever an issue in a business, the first thing I always ask is there a system for it? If there isn't, build one and critique the system before you critique the person. In most cases, we're like, he's a shit coach. I was like, great. What's the system of making him make sure that that coach is going to be successful in the future? Did you have an onboarding plan for this coach? Did you actually train them? Did you actually have a proper recruitment plan for them? Did we just recruit the wrong person? If you had the wrong recruitment, you had the wrong onboarding, you had the wrong introduction to the team, that's your system failing, right? Of course the coach is going to fail. Who's been there before? Yeah? Understand? Yeah? So people, focus on growing your team skills, not making them rely on you, right? Great owners teach others just fix problems. Train your team to take over your tasks. And the main key goal of a hair team is, it's not about going and replacing the tasks in itself, them taking ownership of it. The word ownership is important. So if you think about Emile, what he has done is he has given all those areas that were time consuming for him to people who are probably better at doing it than he is, right? If it's going to be admin, if it's going to be looking after the coaches, if it's going to be looking after venues. I'm pretty sure if Kimberly wasn't doing this, we would probably in Bankstown RSL doing something over there, most probably. No offense, Emile, right? So the thing over here to remember is, this is one word, you probably want to write it down, okay? And I tell this to business owners doing multi-million dollar businesses. You do only what you can do. I'm going to say that again. You do only what you can do. What does that mean?
Pretty much whatever you can control somewhat.
Not quite. What else?
Or you do your strengths and the other people.
Bingo. You do only what you can do. If someone else can do it for you, let them. They might be better at it. Right? If Emile's role over here is to grow the brand, the franchise, that's what he should be doing. Not dealing with his coaches on the floor. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right? So every single time you think about doing an action, and again, this might take a while. Everyone's at a different level in terms of where the business is at. We can't start delegating from day one, but there has to be a plan of delegating too, right? So in 12 months' time, if the plan is 80% of what you guys are currently doing can be delegated to other people, the 20% you're doing is actually driving the business forward. Only you can do that. No one else can do it. Like, don't outsource that aspect of things. That should be your superpower, and just make sure you use your superpower more often. Am I making sense here, guys? Yes? Good. All right. So if you think about this, focus on skills, not just rules. I was speaking to someone earlier. So like, I'm a bit scared and worried about the fact that someone else is going to come in and ruin the entire thing. And yes, there are few opportunities there in terms of self-realization, understanding that you've got to let go as well. But at the same time, make it very objective. What are you replacing? if you're replacing admin or your 2IC, what exactly would you like your 2IC to be doing? Right? I would like my 2IC to be looking after all my coaches. I want my 2IC to make sure the rostering is done. That person does the hiring, the firing, and then this person looks after member inquiries and complaints. Right? The first step is make sure our recruitment is such that they've got the skills on doing that. If they've got the skills, you're technically replacing that aspect. You can train, you can have all your systems and processes and expectations mapped out, but make it objective. Don't make it about sentiments about what you think. Think of it as skills, right? Show everyone how they can grow in their jobs. What does success look like for them as they move on into other roles and take on other responsibilities? Praise learnings, not just good outcomes. And then regularly learn to make sure, teach your team in terms of how their development is. Does anyone have any values in the business right now? Like, I know you might not formally have them, but we were speaking about values earlier. I just overheard that during lunch. Are there any values that you guys have? There might be personal values. There might be values that you think that this is who I am. This is how I would like the business to operate. What's your operating rhythm? Any values you guys want to shout out loud? Please tell me someone's got values in the business.
We have the little women's values.
What are they?
Treat each child as your own.
Treat each child as your own. Okay.
Be a role model.
Be a role model. Okay.
The best thing. Yeah.
Great. Now, who actually knew all these values that the business has? Remembered one. Okay. And this is not a point of critique, right? This is something that we probably have to work on as a business as well, because at the end, values are not there to be hidden away in a website or in a shiny marketing material. It's actually there to be lived. If you're not living it, what's the point of it, right? If one of your values is going to be treat your child as if they're your own, my first question is, how do you prove that? Show me how it's done. And what does that actually mean? Like, go give them kisses and cuddles? Probably not. But what exactly does that mean? And then how can you prove that you're actually doing that in your business? Because those values have to be yours. And then your next circle of influence, who is that? Your coaches, your team. Is that making sense? All right, homework for you guys all. Go in and look at all the values that the business has right now. And you can create some of your own if you'd like, on top, right? Because you might have some personal values that you want to add on top of that. So for example, one of the values that I have for my business is continuous learning, right? The part for continuous learning is I ask myself, okay, so that's my value. How do I prove that? So with my team, every single week we have an hour of us either teaching or guiding them about something new, or them learning something about a certain aspect of business or fitness and coming and sharing that with the team. But I've created that space for that to actually happen, right? So that's in motion. Like, you can't have continuous learning as something and then expect them to just happen. Is that making sense? Right? So something to look forward to with your team as well. What happens after people, guys? What's next? We've got 3 down, 2 to go. Reporting. We spoke about 0 earlier. That's obviously your financial reporting, which is there. What matrix should you guys be looking at? What are some of your key KPIs when it comes to reporting? Shout it out loud. Enrollments. What else, guys? Monetary. Like revenue? Yep, revenue. Good. What else? Retention. Good. What else?
New ads, net ads, like how many added and how many did not join. So,
Yes.
So net ads, like how much are you growing? So that's your market there.
Your net member movement. I like that. NMM is what I call that. Right? So on average, what's your growth each month?
Yep.
What else?
Documentation.
Documentation of.
If there's some accident.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. If any incident report forms and stuff like that.
Forecasting for the next forecasting, like ongoing forecasting, term on term, or next term or
Yeah.
after.
Yeah.
That weaves into if you're gonna open new classes, shut more, open a new center.
That's a real good hours.
Conversion rates, yes, 100%, right? Now, I can spend the whole day just talking about reporting, but the question is, if it can't be measured, it can't be managed, right? If you can't measure what's going on, how do you control it? How do you tweak it? How do you change it? Right? All these different things that we spoke about right now, we can have 20 KPIs, or we can have 3 that we just really focus on, right? So the one for my gyms, at any given time, if I speak to my studio manager, in fact my teams as well, they know exactly the number of members I need by the end of December. They know exactly what the churn rate is. So right now it's sitting at 6.57, which means I'm losing 6.57 of membership rate each month, which means if that goes up, they're not performing, right? They're not giving the coaching that is required for the standards that we are at. My net member movement is a number that everyone knows, and they know exactly where it needs to get to, right? So these are 2 or 3 of your KPIs that your team need to know in terms of reporting, right? As I mentioned earlier, you can't improve what you can't measure. Reporting turns your gut feel into good decisions, right? For a franchise, usually you've got obviously enrollments, you've got renewals, payroll, your labor percentage as a cost to the business, because if you're coaching, that's a different cost, and your profit, obviously. I like this one. If your P&L shocks you at the end of the quarter, it's not an accounting issue. It's a leadership issue. It shouldn't be a surprise. You should have expected that. All right. Questions so far, guys? Is this making sense? Yep. We have 4 out of 5, okay? In our leadership circle that we're talking about right now. All right, what's the last one? That's going to be a tricky one to figure out. That could be anything. What's that? Monitoring assessment, yes, almost there. There's another word for it. Think about it. You've got your vision, you've got your systems in place, your people are now performing. You've got a reporting dashboard that's telling us if you're performing in the right direction or not. What's the last thing? Legal. Hey? Legal? No, hopefully not. Review, yes, almost there. It's one thing that holds us all. It's one thing that holds us all accountable. Yes, that's it. And is that just for your team members? Is that just for your staff, your coaches? Who is that for? Every single aspect of your business. Yeah? This is what keeps everything moving, right? It's not meant to be a punishment. It's actually there so that the vision that you guys had, if that vision is strong enough, if everyone knows what that vision is, we have actually told the team that's what the goal is, guys. We're all on the plane now. We're going to the Gold Coast. Are you guys ready? Right? This is what it's going to be like. It's going to take us an hour, 20 minutes to get there. We might have a little bit of turbulence, but that's okay. We've got each other. Right? We can hold hands. Right? There's going to be a little bit of food, a little bit of water, some drinks, and we're going to land there in an hour, 15, 20 minutes. Okay? Are we ready for this journey? Right? And for some reason, if the pilot starts becoming a bit shaky, we're going to hold him accountable to keep flying the plane. Don't start serving drinks behind. Right? The pilot's got his job. The flight attendants have theirs. The baggage handlers have theirs. Everyone's doing what they have to be doing. Then we all get to go to the Gold Coast. Is that making sense? That's making sure everyone's doing what they're doing. Right? And this is what it is. The thing about leaders set expectations, measure results, and have consistent check-ins. Right? And how are you doing that now? That's the question. What's your consistency over there that lets you do it? Who's catching up with their teams once a week? Great. Who's catching with them once a month? Who's not catching up with the team at all? And that's okay. Great. And for those hands that didn't come up, they are in the last category. When accountability drops, the wheel stops, that we're talking about. When it's strong, that's what builds momentum. Right? And that's what freedom actually is. Right? That momentum gives you more time back that actually gives you less anxiety that things actually are they working or not working. Sometimes, who has been there where the WhatsApp group at work is a bit stagnant or no messages at all for like 20 minutes? You start getting a bit nervous, right? Like, what's going on? It's like something needs to happen. Like, we're waiting for shit to happen. It just doesn't happen, right? That's the area you need to get to where things are just building and just working on themselves. Cool? 5 things coming together is what's going to get your business on autopilot. Any questions, guys, you have here so far? Now, just look at that wheel for around 5 to 10 seconds. And what's the one that requires your biggest attention right now? Just think of one that requires the most attention. That's going to give us the biggest bang for our buck. Greg, what's yours?
Probably people.
Why is that?
Just think I need more people, and I've lost some people recently in my business, so I'm looking at getting some new ones. I think I've got a lot of our systems in place that people my key focus. That's how the system works.
Great, awesome. Edmondson, what's yours? Edison, sorry.
Yeah, I think people as well. We have a really good team of coaches.
Yep.
I feel like I don't think they can operate without me that being around.
Okay, Saurabh, you?
Mine is people and accountability. So I'm 2 terms old, so still figuring it out. What sort of team should I be having? I'm still building up on the team. So the right people that I have at the moment, I'm trying to coach them to take more ownership on the part and have to see them be accountable of what I'm giving into them. So if I'm able to, I think there are systems in place which already we are using. I've created my own systems as well. So that part is there, which is aligned to my own personal vision as well as the brand vision too. But I think those 2 are the biggest gaps that I'm trying to figure out at the moment. How to do that.
Great, awesome. So anyone has something that's not people and accountability based? Yeah, what's yours?
Systems.
What exactly is the opportunity?
We are spending a lot of time
Yeah.
with emails, phone calls, follow-ups. So I think it would make a huge difference to how we operate if we can implement automation to most of them. Automating on pay, the response, follow-ups, makeups, free trials,
all of it.
If we can automate them, it will free us with more time to focus on growing and contacting the schools, daycares, all that stuff.
Awesome. That's great. One more shy, guys. One more shy. What's the biggest opportunity in your business? I'm sure all 5 would be.
Accountability. I think everyone is responsible for its action. So, yeah, I may pick the accountability.
Good. Any questions on this, guys, so far? Nope? All right. I'm going to set you, so your homework as you guys go back into your businesses is rating this from 1 to 5. Your most important right now in your business to, let's call it, the least amount of effort and energy that you guys are going to take. So rank it from 1 to 5 and try working on each one of that for, even if you give yourselves like a good 2 weeks per section or per area, your vision might actually take 2 weeks. It's not a 5-minute thing because there might be some thinking that you guys want to be doing, right? And then the vision then needs to be a SMART goal that you have with that as well. So associate what does that actually look like in terms of deliverables. And then if it goes in that format, what's next in systems? Where are we now? Where can we be in a month's time? Just in a month's time. We're not trying to do like 20 things at the same time. We just focus on that and keep moving that ball. Make sure you're spinning that ball as well. Now, one thing that we're going to work over the next 5 minutes very quickly is this. All right? This is something that I do with not just franchise owners, but other business owners as well. Has anyone done a time audit exercise in the past? A time audit? Of course, Emile has done his. He does it every minute, which is great. All right. So, very, very powerful exercise. All right? Especially for those guys who have got multiple things going on. All right? And most of us do. So, think of this as you use this over a 2-week period. right? You can do it in any format you want. If a spreadsheet works, if a pen and paper works, whatever works best for you. And what we're trying to do is measuring what we're doing in 30-minute blocks every single day from the time you wake up to the time you sleep. So for example, if you wake up at 7 in the morning, from 7 to 7:30, you're obviously getting ready for getting to work. 7:30 to 8:30, you're having breakfast, coffee, great. 8:30 onwards, emails from 8:30 to 9:30, yada, yada, yada. Whatever that needs to look like. You measure that for 2 weeks, 30-minute blocks. And reflect on it. Yeah? You will be surprised on the amount of time that you spend on things that you don't even realize. I've had this done with a few of my clients in the past, and some of them literally just come down to tears because they're like, I'm just wasting away life. There was one, I still remember this business owner, she was running like a $4 million business, and her ritual was to buy coffee for the team every single morning. It's like, great. She was spending around 4.5 hours every single week trying to do that. The drive to the coffee shop, waiting for the coffees, the drive back to the office, giving it out to the team, and then actually getting to work. Because she thought that was the right thing for her to do. Right? So track your time. Very, very important. Document one process. Okay? Think about one task that always causes problems. Write down how you could do this week. Test it. Make it better. Show others how to do it. Just one. I know you've got plenty that you've got to work with the next 3 months. Just think of one thing. Yeah? Third action you have is grow one leader. 2IC we spoke about. It doesn't have to be a 2IC level. It could be anyone in your business. Is there anyone right now that you can think of who's ready for more? Give them a new challenge. Help them succeed. Watch them grow. And then obviously set your vision as well. What are we trying to build in one small, simple sentence as well? If you guys want to just take very quick 60 seconds, just jot down the first thing that comes in your mind, right? If you do a track your time exercise very quickly, what's the first thing you can think of right now that you can find some opportunities and more time in the things that you're currently doing? Think of one process that we can work on immediately once you go back to your business. Think of one person you can give more responsibility to. And what's one very quick goal that you guys could have in your business? Quick 60 seconds. Let's get some music in the room, please.
The first thing I want to fix is the local marketing that we have been doing. We did some efforts. I think there's a lot of scope of improvement there. We tried to do something. It didn't work. Then we tried something else that seems to be working. So we tried to create a system of that just for the marketing efforts that we're putting. At the same time, getting leads and cold calling, be it centers, knocking doors on schools or daycares, and an effective way of tracking MQLs to SQLs, like getting the leads and qualifying it and nailing it down in the end. So I don't have particularly have a system there. It's completely half-assed at the moment. So I'll be, I've identified 2 team members who could be good in this area, so I'll be coaching them on that, especially on the sales side of it.
Great.
And hopefully that is, if I succeed in that side, that will solve a lot of the things that I'm trying to fix. So that is a major chunk.
And that's giving you some time back doing that too.
It gives me the ample amount of time back at the moment.
Amazing.
If I do this.
So you can see the loop on how it works, right? Amazing. Let's give it a Saurabh, guys. 3, 2, 1. Thank you. I need to go next.
Yeah, my wife Melissa pretty much does all the admin work. So one of the things that maybe for me to grow is to take some of those things like emailing the customers. It's a routine thing, but also at the same time automating it. So I've done 2 things already, like growing myself and automating things, bringing up time.
Good. How much does that give you time back as well?
Well, yeah, if I do the AI thing, it would be very quick to, but mostly for her, because I've seen her tirelessly emailing a lot of parents, so yeah, so those things, plus she does everything, even the marketing side of things, the posting and everything.
Yeah.
So just to help a little bit take off her plate, those things maybe.
Awesome. Great. All right, let's give it up. 3, 2, 1. So he's done one for you. You've got one for him. All right, one more share, guys. Do you want to go?
Me?
Yeah.
Okay. So I just like for the first one, I would like to put the action, just check my time. I spend too much time on the email things. So after today's, I definitely go to use the Excel and then try to save my time and doing more like leadership job. Yeah. And also for the vision, because we're thinking to hit 200 enrollments next year. So the thing we have to do is find one more venue before the end of this year, so that we can hit our target. Yeah, and also grow one leader. We do have like one coach, really strong coach, but he cannot commit on Sunday. So we are thinking the way how he can like be our two in one, and also twice and also like to commit work for us more. So we have to have a discussion with him. So
Amazing.
otherwise we can save more time on the leadership.
Excellent. All right, let's give it up, guys. 3, 2, 1. Any more shares that has not been spoken yet? Any new ideas? Greg, do you want to throw something for us?
New ideas? Do you have any new ideas? I mean, I was just looking for a lot to kind of save time. Yes, with the timeline, it's probably more looking at, looking into that, even that AI stuff, because I do get a lot of calls, not for you guys, for my business, is what I'm thinking about side. I've always got to have the two hats on. I'm just thinking purely as a franchisee.
Yeah.
He's looking at kind of, the AI call thing and stuff like that. I do get a lot of calls in between calls, which takes some following up. In terms of the kind of, that's kind of what's taken up my process and then giving back my time as well. In terms of growing a leader, I've got one strong coach, so I'm looking at growing into a leader, so giving more time. And then, I guess really working on a more refined vision just for my own kind of particular business, I guess. To make it really in Brisbane the biggest provider in Brisbane is this division.
Amazing. Let's go to Greg, guys. 3, 2, 1. All right. So, guys, with what we've done right now is, again, there's only so much we could squeeze in the hour that we have. But you get the gist of where we're going with this, right? So we've got these 5 different areas that we need to work on. Those 3 were basically just a quick practical test right now as we speak. But think of it as owning the game means actually knowing where the destination is, which is technically your vision, right? You're building systems that execute without you, which is our systems. You're developing people who think strategically, making decisions based on data, which is your team right now. And then holding everyone accountable, including yourself, right, to the highest standard, which is then the accountability part, right? And if you do one thing in each of these areas, you'll end up having a business that'll be very different to the one that you're currently running right now. Step off the court, set the play. You're not playing the game. You're setting the play, leading from the balcony, and then that's how your game is to own. And then you're doing it at your own play rather than depending on everything else around you. And that's it, guys. That's me. Yeah. Oh, yeah, thank you for that. All right, I think, do you guys have any questions so far that on terms of what we have covered? There's nothing like a silly question. And obviously, Emile is going to jump into a bit of a Q&A as well, which will be good. But as we are setting up, there's anything it could be a silly question, it's like, how is it that this can work without that? My team's too small, I'm by myself, whatever that needs to be. Is there a question out there? I might have either really explained that well or none at all. Awesome. All right, let's take a quick 5 minutes, Emile, if that's okay.
We've got one question.
What are we doing? Let's go.
What happens if someone rebels against your system?
All right, well, how do they rebel against the system? Okay, cool. Rebel is an excellent choice of word, right? Because If they're trying to challenge it from a way that I've got a better way of doing it, then I would obviously work with, tell me what you have to bring to the table, right? But a system's always there to be changed and improved. Continuous improvement. Toyota does that all the time, right? Continuous improvement. There's always a better way of doing things. You always have to find it. Now, if you are stuck in your ways, be like, no, this is the only way, then that's a leadership challenge, right? I would have, like, my doors are always open to anyone in my team to tell me something that actually works better than we're currently doing, and I would actually incentivize them for that. Like, thanks for bringing something as an idea. If I implement that, I give $50. Yeah? And keep that open door policies. It's like, come on and tell me more. And not just with your team, with your clients, with your members. Like, tell your wider parents as well. There's something that we could do different that's going to make the experience better. Now, if they're trying to be a dick about it, sorry for my English, then that's a performance conversation. If they're trying to stir the pot too much, right, then challenge them on that. But sometimes it's just the way it's been put forward is not right, but the thinking, they might actually have their heart set in the right direction. We've got to figure out, from a leadership perspective, what they actually mean from there. Does that make sense? Yep. Cool.
How do you hold underperformers accountable?
Now, good question. The first thing starts with your vision, right? I always start with the vision. Is your vision strong enough? If your vision is to build a world-class training facility for kids in your area, right? If that's your vision, when you say world-class, it's going to attract world-class coaches, world-class systems, world-class expectations. So two things normally happen. One is you have coaches, like right now, if you're going to go back to your business and be like, guys, tomorrow onwards, we're going to build, this is my vision for the business, right? Which means these are the expectations from a coach's perspective. And as long as you guys do this, the business is going to do this. Two things are going to happen. One is everyone's going to be like, this is fucking awesome, this is great, let's go, right? As long as we've got the tools in the process to get us there. And there's going to be a part of it that's going to be, this is not for me. Because they just want to cruise. And that's okay. Right? If your expectation's there, and if the team's holding you down because that's not the vision that they have, that's fine. There's nothing wrong about it. They just have a different vision. They have a vision to probably be in a different style of environment. But that's a leadership question. Right? And if you're okay, who said that earlier? What was the thing? Was it... Who mentioned that? There was something on if you let something slide, what was the... That's it, right? Because then that's what you're promoting. You're promoting that is okay, right? And that's not the definition of world class. Does it make sense? Cool.
Quick question. I was going to ask, how do you keep your Be Fit workers happy and content? Like, what incentives do you offer them?
So, starts with the vision.
Yeah.
I always start with the vision, all right? Because the vision is always telling you where we're going, right? If the vision is strong enough and they want to come on the journey, they'll want to come on the journey. They don't care what they're getting for it. They just have this vision that they want to be part of that's actually going to take them there. So, there was this, they do countless surveys in the corporate world. And they think about what are the top 10 motivations for team members, for staff members to stay in a business. Where do you think money sits in the top 10? Money, compensation, where does it sit? Top 10. 5? Anyone else? Middle? Anyone else? Number 7. What's number 1? Someone said something there. Culture? No? No? It starts with the letter A. Appreciation. Accountability? No, I wish. Appreciation. Tell me that I'm doing a good job. Right? Now, how do you tell someone they're doing a good job? If you have a measure of success for them to figure out if they're doing a good job or not. So tell me, how do I do a good job? Oh, you do a good job by doing this, this, and this. But you need to set the tone of what that actually looks like. What does good look like? right? What's your definition of good? Which is your high standards, which is your world class. My definition of good is when you come into a session, these are the things that you need to be doing in the next 45 minutes of you coaching that session. As long as you do that, that's good. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah? So appreciation is number one, but incentivize is, you'll be, the way I like doing it is, so for one of my locations, Hornsby, for that, I've given them a net member movement number by the end of December, right? I said, tell me what you guys need in order for us to get there. If you want me to increase marketing spend, I'll do it. If you want me to bring more coaches, I'll do it. Tell me what you need. Do you guys want to do a social Saturday or Friday to get members ramped up so they can get more referrals? I'll do it. Tell me what you want, and I'll do it for you, right? But that's the number we need to get to, right? If we get to that number, then we're all going to go out to the Crown and do a seafood buffet. That was my thing. That's our Christmas lunch. The seafood buffet means nothing for them. What it means is we set ourselves a target, and we got there. And then I get to tell them, you guys did an awesome job, which is the first thing that people actually look for. Appreciation. Make sense?
I always show gratitude and appreciation every week with my coaches, to the point where they're getting a bit yes. And some of my coaches, they coach for other people, not in this franchise but elsewhere, and now they're coming back wanting more money. I'm too small, I cannot compete.
Yeah.
When do I cut my ties?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm torn because I've invested so much into them, building them,
Yep.
that they become this person that that other people want. But I still have them. So like I don't really know when to
Yeah.
cut my ties.
Go ahead.
At one point,
Yeah.
at one point do I keep investing in them?
Yeah.
Not only financially.
Yes.
Because I then feel like I'm being paid.
Sure.
And then I want to turn it and invest it into something else because my vision has now been broken because they have a different vision for themselves. And it's
Yeah.
affected my vision.
Sure. So are they asking for more money? Great. Classic case. Happens everywhere, right? So a few things over there. So when you are providing them good feedback and appreciation, what does that look like? What do you say? What do you tell them?
Well, I explain to them about feedback from parents, children, retention, and
Yeah.
I give them, not only them, but their family,
Yeah.
because we're very family oriented.
Yep.
And we go out, we treat the whole family, even though it's just that one person.
Yeah.
Because I know family is important to them.
Cool. Awesome. I've got a question for you. So, we spoke about those 3 questions that if your team know how to answer those 3 questions, you're on the right direction. Does your team know you mentioned that your team knows those 3 visions that you have, right? The question I would have is you're probably too small. Your vision's not challenging enough. A vision needs to be something that you're not there yet. It needs to be aspirational. It needs to be that I need to go in and scale Mount Everest. Is it easy? No. Can it happen? Yes.
Well, they know that for me to get to that vision, or
Yep.
for us to get to that vision, that they are key.
They're key. Okay, the one thing that I've always had in any of the businesses I've run is this one line, and all of my team members would always know that. Everyone's important, right? Everyone's important to the business, but everyone's replaceable in the business. Everyone is, including myself. Because if I don't do what I'm meant to be doing as a leader, in your case, if you don't do what you're doing as a leader, you're going to fail the business, you're going to fire yourself. The business is going to fire you. Right? So everyone's valuable, but everyone's replaceable, including yourselves.
And that's what I've sort of, I'm hoping that they're feeling this now because I've got 3 new people.
Yep.
And I'm focusing a lot of my energy and time on, and the other coaches' time on these 3 people.
Yep.
And I've cut down their hours.
Yeah.
Hit the one.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Just so it's proven
100%.
that we're still running without you.
Yep.
and I want to see if that will work in the next couple of weeks.
Correct. And if you just, the last few questions that we have, right? If you think about, if your vision is strong enough, which means they're actually excited to be part of it, because you're building it together. It's never the destination, it's the journey. It's like the stuff that you're going to be learning during this time in order for you to get to your vision. That needs to be strong enough. And that's why, that's the number one thing, right? It needs to be strong enough for yourself. It needs to be strong enough, big enough for your team as well, right? Now, the appreciation that you give them is great as long as we're hitting those milestones in order for us to get to that vision. Or if it's too easy for them to get, then your visions, I'll challenge your vision, right? It needs to be big enough that it makes you uncomfortable. It needs to make you uncomfortable. If it's not making you uncomfortable, the vision's too small, right? So that's the first thing I would look at, which means then you're getting the right team members on the journey with you, that guys that actually want to be there. And of course, you're appreciating who they are, but they, again, all have to be replaceable in case they don't fit that bill. And they're like, that's great, that's not what the business can afford, and that's a conversation you need to have. We would love to give you a pay rise, the business can't afford that at this stage. And I always like saying this, you are not the business. Don't take it personally, especially when you get feedback from parents. You are not the business, all right? You happen to be a cog in the business that lets the business operate, and the decision that you ever make is always made for the business, not because you think so. So if someone comes up to you and is like, hey, I need $5 extra, I need $45 an hour now. It's like, I would love to give you $45, and I would love the fact that the business could get to a position when we can get there. At this stage, we're not there yet. It might be when we get to 500 or 600 enrollments, I would love to give you that. However, what we can do is we can work towards a growth plan between now and 6 months where you can be a 2IC, a 3IC, whatever that is, take added responsibility, because you could get high performers asking for that as well. They just want more. They're like, job enrichment, give me more, right? I can give you this, this, and this, and let's work on giving you a couple extra bucks once you get there, but 45 is not what the business can afford. Is that something you're going to work with? High performers, people who are there, want to be part of the vision, they'll say yes. For those who are just chasing the dollars, they are the ones that you don't want in your team. Does it make sense? Cool. Questions? Greg, you have questions?
No.